Hello everyone, welcome to my next Yugioh review. I know it's been like forever since I posted anything, but you know, these reviews do take, for Yu-Gi-Oh ones, do take forever to do. Um, so, you know, I do apologize. I've been working very hard on this, and let's just get into it. This time we're covering the Battle City arc, which is 38 episodes long. It's a healthy arc. I have watched both the sub and the dub version of this arc, so that in total is 96 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Watched for this review. The review would be based on the sub version, but I wouldn't know any dub changes that I think are notable, interesting, cool, etc., etc. And if I were to note our dub changes, we'd be here all day, especially for 48 episodes. It just take too much time. And as half we have been with this series, because this would be the third part of my look back at Yugioh Do Monsters. We go over some of the voice actors in this arc, notably from main characters and stuff like that, and other words that I may know the voice actor from, and we'll mention it here. So starting off with Merrick, Yami, and Noma Merrick. Is played by Tetsuya Iwagaya. Again, I do apologize for any butchering of names during this review, because it just kind of happens. I'm trying my best, but the butchering would happen. Who voiced for young Elder Kai in Dragon Ball. For like that flashback to explain how he got trapped in the Z zone in the Japanese version, and Jonathan Todd Rose, who plays Slade Princeton in GX, plays Merrick in the English dub. Ishizu is played by Sumataru, who also plays Ms. Maya from Wuthering With You, and the mermaid from the original Dragon Ball, and the Japanese version of the show, and Karen Neo played Roxanne, Maymac's mom from Pokemon in the English dub. Odion's played by Kantan in the Japanese versions, and is played by David Burma, who also played Zenman from 5Ds, and Crusher Wake from Pokemon in the English dub. Shardy, who really I should have mentioned in Duel's Kingdom, but there were a lot of votes worth in Duel's Kingdom, so he's one I kind of scoot over to Battle City. But Shardy is played by Nozurama Saka, who played Hayata Giro in Naruto. I know I just probably freaking butchered that too. And in the Japanese version. And Wayne Grayson in the dub. And that's probably like the shortest ever voice actor recap that's ever happened on this channel. Which is not necessarily a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that feels super short compared to like what normally used to these Yu-Gi-Oh reviews. And we're moving on to the review now. A lot of these episodes are multiple part, and I will give my thoughts of the whole like episode when we get to like the end of it. But I am going like episode by episode, so I can discuss dub changes. So that's kind of the format out this video. So, and speaking of which, the first 2 episodes are too palm. Episode 50 starts off with Grandpa hitting on Taya, but nudge nudge, Conco cute, and she's like, well, what are you doing? I don't understand what you mean I'm cute. And I do love how like Yami, Yugi, and Yugioh are just like talking about like fashion and like having crushes on Taya. It's a very nice moment, like between the two. Right. Side note, I feel like the dub fails horribly at, because they cut all that shit out, and it's like talk about destiny, blah 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 blah, like these small moments of like. Yugi's like, hey, why not shoot your shot with Taya? You like her, like, why not, axe her out? Or, like, it's, like, shows, like, a good relationship between the two. But, again, I feel like the English dub fails to do in comparison to the sub version. And Yugi now has a chain around the puzzle. Got an upgrade. Yugi's mom actually speaks this time. This is the last time we see her. But how she was during season 1 filler, she was just there, silent, not speaking. She got a few lines. But like Yugi's mom's worried. Like Yugi's talking to himself. And, so much so she's so worried that she never shows up again. Just out of mind, out of sight. So, Taya and Yugi on the way to school. And like when they come across like a fortune teller. And Yugi's like, oh well, I'm a fortune teller, so here we go. This seems like fun. The fortune teller steals the puzzle and runs down a dark alleyway. Yugi goes off to chase the fortune teller on his own when Taya goes to get help. And so it's very nice of the fortune teller to put up arrows so that Yugi can follow him. Don't want your chasers to get lost. Very considerate. Taya runs into Bakura and tells him, hey, Yugi's in trouble, and that's where good old friend Yamabiko comes out and like, ho. I need Yugi to be the owner of a puzzle. I can't have any of this shenanigans of people stealing the puzzle. Yamabiko messes with the arrows of the fortune teller put up to make it confusing which way to go. Yugi shows up at like an old warehouse building home thing. Don't know really what. I guess it's more of a warehouse. It's more of a warehouse. Of course, they would be doing for the puzzle, and they're doing an abandoned warehouse. How perfect is that? We see like a shadowy figure, like looking through like the fortune teller's eyes. And they're like, oh, we need to confirm like this, like a spirit living in the puzzle. Yugi's like doing on his own because Yugi feels like he's being watched. He's like, yo, someone's watching me. You're on your own, Yugi. And so they start dueling, And I also like we start off with a Yugi do. Now Yami Yugi do, a Yugi do, which Yugi needs all the dudes he can get, because it's typically Yami Yugi. So like any excuse to bust up a little guy to throw down some cards, it's appreciated. Yugi summons the Celtic-Gallion. The fortune teller sets a monster. He thinks he might know who the fortune teller is based off its voice. Celtic-Gallion attacks the face down monster. It turns out to be the Cyberjaw. As the flip effect goes off, which each player reveals the top 5 cards of a deck and can summon any level 4 low monsters in any position. Yamayuki summons Silverfang, and first tower summons Mechanical Chaser and Ground Attack Burgomath. And Yugi gets that the first tower is indeed Abandoned Keith, which it turns out to be 100% true. Good to know that you can. Abandoned Keith is for only machine person. Only person for place machines, but again, Yugi's like, I know his voice, so it's a little putting the puzzle pieces together though. Banky hates Yugi for just being good at the game. Like, legitimately, hates Yugi for being good at the game. Because you know what Yugi has done to Banky? Absolutely fucking nothing. It was this guy right here that beat you Druid's Kingdom. Yugi did nothing to you. I guess guilty by association. Banky summons Machine King and gives 100 attack points for each machine monster on the field and destroys Silverfang. Non-Yami Yugi. See, I'm so used to the Yami Yugi being the one to do. I just assume it's Yami Yugi. See, this is why this is appreciated. We need more Yugi dudes. Yugi sets a monster. Banky summons Mecha Sonic Eye, and Machine King gains a 100. Machine King destroys Yugi's set monster. Yugi thinks Banky might not really be Banky since he knows about Yugi. Like, talk about, hey, maybe bring out that little spirit and that little puzzle of yours, and so he can play a game with me. So Teo gets Tristan and Joey to help, but teacher stops him. And they lie about Yugi being sick to get out of school. Like, we gotta see Yugi in the hospital. And honestly, side note, the teacher that stops him reminds me of a teacher I used to have in high school. Like, they look eerily alike. So I don't know if it's protective for the future or not for my future. Who knows? Everything is called base. I don't know. Who knows? But I just rewatching. I'm like, you look familiar. But anyways, which I think really wants Yugi to call out Yugi. But because you just need to touch it, but so it's chained up next to the doing, but it's you took away the thing that you would need to transform to Yami Yugi. And you have him do an extra step of reaching over, touching the puzzle for his side of doing, and it's just I feel like this plan could have maybe been more far out, maybe, I don't know, I was about to say kidnapping, but they honestly do a shit ton of kidnapping in the show as is. So again, not going down the kidnapping route, again, is a bit, you do a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot of kidnapping, so again, you want to mix it up a bit. Steal the puzzle. But I feel I don't know, this could have been more far out a bit. I mean, again, it's why beside him, he could just touch it. Actually, could he reach the puzzle? I don't think he could, if he reached over and tried to touch it. I think the puzzle's too far down. I think this plan is terrible, by the way. Terrible plan. Because that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I don't think he could even touch the puzzle, realistically. Now, if he really tried to touch the puzzle, anime logic, he probably could. With a pile of friendship. But, I'm just thinking in my head, I don't think he could reach it. Yugi's not that tall. Anyways. Yami Yugi is just really chilling. Even though we kind of do have, a connection still. Yami Yugi is, hey, you don't have a puzzle, I can tell you things still. Like, Yami Yugi is really not having Yugi at all. Which, again, I do like to establish, hey, but do someone still have a connection? But, like, it's very weak. And, again, I just like the feeling of Yugi being alone in this duel. Yugi fuses Curse of Dragon and Gaia, the Fierce Knight, to bring out Gaia, the Dragon Champion. Gaia attacks Mechanical Chainsaw and Machine King's attack drop. Keith plays Machine Corrosion Factory to make his monsters gain 300 attack and defense. Machine King destroys Gaia. Yugi uses Summon Skull and Makuru for Magical Miss together to make Machine King worse and boost Summon Skull's attack, like Summon Skull to destroy Machine King. Taylor, Joey, and Tristan see the arrows all over the place. They don't know where to go. Bank Keith uses Grace for Charity to draw 3 and then discard 2. Bank Keith is cheating with placing cards he wants on top of a deck using like a machine that was up his sleeve, just like act like he was drawing it. Like comes up the arm and places cards on his hand like this. So like when he places his hand on his deck, it's like, oh, I draw these 2, you know. Hopefully, how many cards Grace for Charity lets him draw? It's like, oopsie poopsie. Then he uses Zo Witcher to summon Zo the Mat. And there's only apparently 4 copies of this card in the world. Move over, Blue Eyes. You have a less impressive card to compete with. Yeah, the fact that it's a ritual doesn't help with last attack. So, you know, I'm just saying. And he brings that Zo by tripling Bogomath and Machine. And not Machine Chaser got destroyed. Mega Sonic. Zo destroys the Summon Skull. Yamabiko shows up at the old abandoned warehouse. Is able to tell if someone's using shadow powers. Dub changes. No Yugi's mom. Yugi's mom's been cut out. She has been shown no love in the dub. The dub hates MILFs. Confirmed. This is a very serious war crime going on here too. I feel like Yugi giving the puzzle to Bank Keith makes a tiny, slightly more sense in the dub because Bank Keith specifically says he needs it to be able to tell Yugi's version. Yamabiko just wants the puzzle instead of Yugi keeping it. Yugi couldn't do because Yugi doesn't have the puzzle in the dub, while him just like, I don't want to do it. If I try to figure once for puzzle instead of seeing Yugi, the gang tells the teacher about Fluffy, the sick kitten, instead of saying Yugi is sick. Maybe should have gone with the sick Yugi. I'm just saying, man, you know, but you went with Fluffy the cat. Moving on to episode 51. Yugi knows the Bankeep isn't himself because he's using so many will cards that aren't machine types. Yugi sets a monster. Bankeep summons Saru and sets magic jam of Hikabi Shing. Bankeep uses to stop defense and Yugi set monster being Kurmo Dragon is destroyed by Zo. Yugi sets a monster and Saru destroys it. And Bankeep sets 2 cards and searches Zo to D. Yugi sets the card and then summons the Dark Magician. Yugi tries to use Magical Hats, but Bankeep uses Magic Jammer to negate Magical Hats by discarding 1 card. Bankeep uses Curse of the Field to switch all positions of the monsters on the field. Zoa now attacks the Dark Magician. Yugi uses Mirror Force, but bang, he uses some judgment by paying half of his life points in the game Mirror Force. Because now watching the dude, he's just a bit outside before it took him so long to just enter the building. Yugi sets a calm and a monster. Banky uses triple to redeem, which by discarding one card you can destroy one monster on the field. But Yugi uses spell shining arrows to change the target to zero. Banky Yami because stops Banky's mind control via his shadow powers. Banky destroys the puzzle to try to stop the shadow figure from controlling him again. Because just swings in. Yami explains to himself that the puzzle holds the memories of a pharaoh from 3,000 years ago, and you need the 6 arms to unlock the memories. Yami wants to leave the power of the pharaoh seal away, so he puts a part of his soul in the puzzle. Because leaves, Banky starts to fire in a panic. Is this a reference to Panic, the character? Probably not, because because Panic's thing was fire, and fire here. But no, because Panic was the dub name only. But anyways, Yugi reveals of a puzzle. Joey and Tristan save Yugi, and the puzzle after Yugi won't let go of the puzzle because the puzzle's opponent Yugi. Tara thinks Yugi's a different person than Yugi, because she's like, oh, well, I thought it was just, his game face, his, dual mode or whatever. But she started to suspect it's, 2 different people. I was like, I kind of feel like we've already been improving this a bit. But, okay, so, but, I do think that it's, a very small way to start Season 2, aka this new Bad City arc, but I do using a new threat through a character we are familiar with, aka Bank Keith. I think that's a good way to be hey, this guy has brain control, which this is one of the few shows actually pull off brain control properly. I am sorry, most shows I cannot stand brain control, because it's oh, we couldn't help our actions through brain control. But, we get into this mode later, but, Yugioh does it smart, in a good tactical way, that I do appreciate. So, again, we get into that mode later, but right now, I do like the fact that, our main threat can use mind control for once. Again, it was used to great effect here too, because introduce a new threat via a character we already know. There's a lot of things set up here. It's the first 2 episodes. Of course, of course, for setting up stuff, but there's a lot. Really, that won't be worth it until legitimately the last episode of this arc. It's just again, they have the plan for season set up things this early on, but it doesn't have at least a little bit of payoff laid down for world, which is very good. That makes this episode a very strong start to the Bad City arc. The dub changes. So when Joey was trying to free the puzzle from the little doing, when he touched the puzzle, Yugi's hey, here's how you get this free. And the dub, no such thing happened. And hospital food is apparently so good that it gives Tristan and Joey to stop fighting. Episode 52. We meet the director of the Ancient Egypt Architectural Society, Shizun, And she's making an ancient Egypt exhibit in Japan. The Egypt Archaeologist Society was founded in 1852 to stop grave robbers. Kaiba meets with Ichizu because she says something about where calling over the telephone. Ichizu talks about how Dumonsters started in ancient Egypt, and we see that famous that is so iconic. That I wish the whole Megatons have came out at this point in time, but like this so iconic that like Yugioh is releasing tens once per year depicting the ancient Vimola. Like, is a very iconic scene. Again, I wish the last Mega 10 would have come out by the time I was recording this, so it would be perfect. But like, that's how iconic this thing is. So, because this is like the basis, plot-wise, but like, not shifts, but like, it's the basis of the direction of the show would take from here forward. There's another manual, just like showing you like Exodia and other Doom monsters, but like, we also again see the famous one, you know. She talks about when all 7 Millennium Items are gathered, a great power will awaken. It usually shows Kaiba ancient past of him fighting with stone tablets. Yamayuki tells Yugi he doesn't know who he is. And the Pharaoh's name is missing from Fumero. We give the names of the god cards: Obelix of the Tormento, Slife of the Sky Dragon, and the Winged Dragon of Raw. And she talks about how the were hunters who steal and make illegal cards via counterfeit. Jeez, that sounds very familiar. Unfortunately, Yugioh predicted of a future on this one. That's actually kind of wild. Have stolen 2 out of 3 god cards. Ichizu gives Kaiba Obelix. And if he gets all 3, she's like the most powerful cards of the game back. Kaiba thinks of Bassi determined to draw out the Were Hunters from what Ichizu told him. And I like this episode. It really does like push the show in the direction that it would be like hang towards for the rest of the series. Minus Philip. But like, you know, the main non-Philip stuff. And I mean, other than that, there's really not much to say about this episode, like, in terms of things I like or dislike. I mean, Shizu, she's cool. I mean, like, legitimately, this is like, I like this episode with the joke, but like, there's not much to say about it at the same time. But we can talk about the dub changes. She usually shows off her powers over the phone with Kaiba. She's like, "Oh, I know you're watching me right now over the news. I'm showing off my necklace super early." Instead of like the Pharaoh's name being missing from Fumero, it is the window between Priest Sito and Pharaoh Yugi. Like, that's gone. Oh, it's just... We'll get to that soon. Ichizu did suggest the idea of a tournament instead of Kaiba coming up of his own. So, it's less Kaiba's idea, more like Ichizu's like, hey, you should probably do this. Episode 53, Serenity seeing a world-class eye surgeon, and Tristan is hang on Serenity by saying she's cute to Joey's face. He's like, I want to tap that to Joey's face. Yugi wants Teo to hang out with Yamayuki. Teo invites Yamayuki to like the ancient Egyptian exhibit. Yamayuki thinks him and Yuki are the same, like not knowing if they want to go in life. Teo says no one knows if they're truly going in life, which is very true. That's 100% fucking true. Like if you told me right now I'll be making making YouTube videos on Yu-Gi-Oh! Teachers being caught for students, I will laugh in your face. But here will fucking I love how Yamayuki like bought a pack of cards and posed like cards he like will later use in future episodes, like Light First So. Like usually it's just Light First So, but still it's very cool to see. But the pack does have a picture of a card Yugi will use later on, which is Buster Blair. Yamayuki and Teo go to an arcade when we meet Johnny Steps, who is stepping all over DER. Teo accepts Johnny Steps' stepping challenge on the dance floor, and Johnny Steps refuses to lose to Teo, so he's just like fucking assaulting and bowing Teo as she like breaks it down on the dance floor. And like no one stops the man from assaulting Teo over a DDR game. And, you know, hey, whatever floats your boat. Teo still wins. Because Johnny Steps lost his steps. He was too busy attacking Teo. Yamayuki says that he's fine staying with Yugi and not knowing who he is. Johnny Steps chases Teo and Yamayuki down, which is kind of fucking creepy, and challenges Teo to a game of and do monsters. Yamayuki's like, no, I got this. I can beat this guy. So Johnny summons Sonic Mane. Yamayuki summons Captain Guyan. I was combining words, so he's now captain. He's a captain of a pirate ship. Move over! Captain Guyan's now... Captain Guyan. And it destroys Sonic Maid. Johnny summons Water Ortics in attack mode. Yamayuki says Johnny's using a for fun deck, which for fun decks aren't designed to win. Well then, Yamayuki's just crushing spirits left and right. Johnny summons Spirit of a Hop and uses Curse of Sanctity to raise Spirit of a Hop's defense by 500 points. Curse of Drag and summoned by Yamayuki and destroys Water Ortics. Johnny forgot to switch her to D. Rookie mistake. Johnny summons Witch of the Black Forest, and he fuses Witch with a copy of Lay of Fate in his hand to summon Musician Can. And someone forgot to use Witch's effect, which is mandatory, by the way. It's not optional. It's mandatory. The TCG player in me is kind of yawing his head off, but, you know, it's still only, anime stuff. So, you know, it's pass. But it bugs me because for Rebecca Phillip, use Witch's effect properly. Anyways, Magician King destroys Captain Guyan. Yamayuki uses Curse of Dragon to attack Magician King, but Johnny uses Mammoth to transform the Magician King into Heavy Metal King, having enough attack to destroy Curse of Dragon. Yamayuki summons Giant Searcher of Stone and D, but gets destroyed by Heavy Metal King. Yamayuki summons Dark Magician, and it destroys Heavy Metal King. this confuses Johnny because Johnny didn't read Mammoth as an effect properly. Because Mammoth has an effect when the monster equipped to it gains 300 attack, just base, no condition. But like the monster also gains half the monster it attacks when it attacks. So like for example, much Heavy Metal King would gain attack when it attack Giant Soldier of Stone, but doesn't gain any attack when Dark Magician attacks it. Cool. Johnny quits the duo after hearing he was doing Yugi motherfucking Mo. Ted tells Johnny to stop stepping away from his problems and chase his dream of dancing. Yamayuki learned a lesson from Teo about moving forward and goes to the ancient Egyptian exhibit. I like this episode. It was fun. I'm sorry, I just like this kind of slice of life feel they have going on in this episode. Like, I like those moments in, like, anime, just these down to heart moments. They always solidify. I know, like, people are like, oh, I like the card game action, or I like the fighting, but, like, what really makes those moments even stronger are these down to earth moments. Especially between Yamayuki and Taya. I thought that was very well done. And I also like how Yamayuki is very unsure if he wants to learn of his past. So, I do like that dynamic there too. Dub changes. Yamayuki is more worried about his past. Like, way fucking more worried about his past in the dub. Johnny Saps really likes to say steps in the dub. The lesson fails in the dub because Yamayuki wasn't trying to dodge his past, so it's like, we're just teaching this random Johnny Steps fella not to run away. So it's just like, there's no reason for the lesson of a dub. So it's just like, what are you doing? Episode 50 film, Yamayuki goes into the wall section of the museum. Yamayuki sees the famous mirror that Kaiba did 2 episodes ago. Yamayuki figures out that he's a spirit of a pharaoh trapped in the puzzle. Yep, the English dub way jumped the gun on that one. By having Yamayuki knowing that he was a pharaoh in the first place. It's Cheese who talks about how her family got the portion of the pharaoh's memory, and how her Millennium Necklace lets her see into the future. To regain his memories, Yamayuki would need all 7 items. She's the one Yamayuki that knew with a Millennium item is, in fact, coming. And he would need to go to the city plaza because she said so. Yamayuki knows that Kaiba is on the mirror too. Kaiba is using his new Dudix system. He wants to test out Obelix the Tormentor against like a dueling robot. And here we start with the new rules. No, just making up as you go. Here we go. The new rules. Each player starts off with 4,000 life points. I explained the rules as, it would come up. The robot sets a card. Kaiba sets a card, and Biox attacks the robot's set monster, which is Cyberjaw. Cyberjaw's like activates, destroy all monsters on the field, and each player reveals the top 5 cards of the deck and can special summon any level 4 or low monsters they choose from those 5 cards. Kaiba summons 4 monsters and the robot summons 2. The robot tributes the 2 monsters to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now you have to tribute monsters to summon high level monsters. 1 tributes for 5 and 6 level monsters, and 7 and above requires 2 tributes to summon. Kaiba summons Dragon Seeker by triggering one monster. When Dragon Seeker switches from attack to defense, reverse that is defense to attack mode. It's defense to attack mode. You can destroy one dragon type monster. So that's Kaiba's slow ass plan. It's not like fucking Blue Eyes can just attack. But whatever. For Robot Setsuka and summons Low of D, which protects all of Robot's dragons for targeting effects. Yeah, poor Kaiba never would so a chance. Kaiba switches off his monster defense mode and Setsuka. But Robot uses the flute of summoning dragons to special summon 2 more Blue Eyes. But Robot uses for 3 Blue Eyes to summon Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now you cannot attack with a fusion summon monster for the first time it was fusion summon, which I think it's stupid that's a restriction, but whatever, because fusion summons is very specific. Back in these days you need very specific monsters, so it's like, great job, you got all the cards you need. Oh wait, you can't attack. But anyways, so one of my favorite OTS is God's Anger. Now, because the copyright ninjas will strike me down, I would to try to use God's Anger in any way, shape, or form during this video. So, as for impressionist that I am, I record myself trying to sing God's Anger in Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Why? Because I thought it would be funny. And it's technically a cover. So, I mean, it is a cover. Not technically, it just is. So, each time I think a moment is deserving of it, here comes Arnold. So, and the reason why I bring that up now, Kaiba summons Obelix by triggering 3 monsters. And by triggering 2 monsters, Obelix has enough attack to destroy Ultimate Dragon and drop for Robot's life points to 0. Yamayuki wants Tear to keep what Shizu said a secret, because he doesn't want Yugi to worry. Mai is here because of an internet message saying something about ancient Jews and call things, and we see some faces like Mako, Rex, and Weaver that we've seen before, but we also get an added bonus of Esper Roba chillin'. And then Kaiba announces he's having a tournament called Bad City. You must have a 30 card deck and some real cards. The anti-rule is in place, which means when you lose, you have to give up your rarest card to the winner. So you really don't want to lose. We learn the name of a shadowy figure from who was controlling Man Keith. His name is Merrick. Him and his were hunters are going to go to Bad City. I like this episode because it shows off Obelix the Tormentor for the first time, and we get Yami Yugi's goal of the arc is to recover his memories. Which is way better than what fucking Dub did, because Dub was just generic, you must save the world, Yugi. And it's just it's so much less personal to our main character than hey, this will help you recover your lost memories. This is something you should probably, if you want to learn about yourself, do. So, there's that. Dub changes. Shizu just straight up caught Yami Yugi Yami and acts like that's his name. The dub. What are you gonna do about it? Because, for sub treats Yami Yugi not knowing his true name as is a really big deal, but it's oh yeah, your name is Yami. It's just, come on, Yami. Everyone knows Yami. It's not like this 3 characters that you can just name Yami and not be confused of who you're talking about. It's just Yami. It's just ridiculous that they changed that whole thing. Because again, for Pharaoh not knowing his name is very important. So it's just like, why would you do that type shit? And Kaiba says Yugi couldn't beat the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. It's like, Kaiba, do we need replay for footage from Duelist Kingdom? I'm pretty sure Yugi had beaten the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I think you threatened to kill yourself if Yugi went through with it. So, it's all, I guess it's all about framing how you want to picture it. And also the dub theme of the gods is great as well. I feel like I should mention that. Episode 55. Joey's upset that Kaiba didn't tell him about Balancing. Serenity's having her surgery tomorrow, and Joey's not sure if he can use his rise in the duel because he doesn't want to lose it. Joey wants all the royal cards because he wants to power up his deck. Joey and Yugi go get the duel decks. Yugi is on to Yami Yugi because he knows that Yami Yugi wouldn't normally agree to the anti-room. I like how the chop they went to is the same that Yami Yugi went with Taya. If you like, Kaiba has his own ranking system. So if you're a level 5 or higher duelist, you get a duel decks and entry to the tournament. Yugi is level 8, the max level. Why 8? I do not know. That seems like a very random number to pick. Kaiba put that Joey is a level 2 nobody. God, that's so fucking tight. I love it. For Woko changes Joey's level to level 5 because he sees that he has a black dragon. Joey's on his way to the hospital to see Serenity, but is stopped by white hunters. Joey uses pen for Warrior. Seiko, whose name is not actually said in the show, but that's why he's named in video games and stuff, so it's like just easier to refer to him as Seiko, opposed to like Whale Hunter number 1. Sets the monster. Joey uses Scapegoat to special summon 4 tokens. Pen for Warrior needs to tribute a monster to be able to attack, so Joey tributes one of the Scapegoat tokens, so Pen for Warrior can attack. Seiko sent down monster. Seiko uses Grace for Charity, which lets him draw 3, discard 2. Seiko summons a monster in face down position. Serenity is waiting for Joey to show up before surgery happens. Joey summons Agate, so another target token gets tribute, so Pen for Warrior can attack. And it destroys Seiko's face down monster. Agate, so attacks directly. Which is a new thing for the Battle rules. You are able to attack a player directly. Seiko plays another Grace for Charity and sets the monster. Joey can use Scapegoats to tribute summon, so he tributes Painful War and Agate, which is like the biggest mistake he could have done possibly. We don't know Joey's hand, but like if he had no monster, he probably could have gotten away and win this. But hey, he tributes Painful War and Agate to summon Where's Black Dragon and destroys Seiko set monster. Joey gets Exodia. It happens. Joey gets beat up and his warehouse is taken. Serenity refuses to let her mom in her room or have her surgery until Joey gets there. The gang works for Joey. Tristan's not lost. Tristan is looking for Joey on his motorcycle. Woom Woom, which is actually quite funny because Yusei Fu and Tristan share dub voice actors, so car games and motorcycles there. Joey's upset about why, so he didn't go to the hospital. Tristan rightfully punches Joey. And that gets some sense smack back into Joey. Joey's at the hospital, says sorry to Serenity. She gets her surgery. I like this episode, because it is like kind of the basis of like Joey's goal for this arc, but we will learn more about that in soon of the future. I wish the duel against Seiko was a bit better, because it's just like Sam monster, Joey attacks Sam. Like it's very repetitive and nothing really happens until like, aha, Mr. Wheeler, I get my Exodia. But like seeing Exodia again is great. I love it. Double changes. I like how like Tristan just puts out point blank to Joey. He's like, Kaiba doesn't like you at all. Why would he let you in his tournament? I just think it's fucking hilarious. Rank 5 is the highest rank in the dub. That's the pointless change, but then again, that makes the rank system make the most sense. And there's like a sensor light when monsters get cut in half. That's a very common sensor and battle scene. And the cut of the beach scene, so it's like literally just Tristan finds Joey. It's like for the most awkward transition, because it's like Tristan is like looking for Joey on his motorcycle, and then literally the next scene after that, it's like Joey's just on Tristan's motorcycle with no explanation of how Tristan found Joey. And like they're trying to make Joey, it's like, oh, Joey got jumped. So he wasn't selfish or anything like that, or feeling sorry for himself. So it's just like, you're trying too hard to make Joey look like Joey is a very good person, but like you're trying to cover up like a character flaw though, which you really shouldn't have. But okay, you gotta make the main characters as likable as possible, I guess. Episode 56 starts off as like another 2-part. So episode 56 and episode 57 are connected. Yugi tells Yugi that Baba saves the fight to find himself, and Yugi asks 0 questions about that. He's like, okay, I get ya. Joey calls Serenity to have her cheer him up. And but Tristan answers the phone, and Tristan's there because he's creeping on Joey's system. No matter what reason he gives, that's why he's there. He's there creeping on Joey's system. Everyone has like the quote-unquote strong location for Battle Save, and there will only be 8 finalists. You need 6 locator cards to find the location of the finalists. You will wager a locator card in these duels. Everyone starts off with 1 locator card. But as he begins, Joey finds Seiko. When even Seiko's call you a dog, the things that I'm looking to get for you. Seiko challenges Yugi because Joey has no more cards in his deck, according to Seiko. I like how they make the way hunters feel more like shields himself, but actually having them use counterfeit cards. Again, Yugioh predicted the future. Yugi refuses to know what like Seiko's deck is from Joey, which is cool because it's like yeah, you could tell me his strategy, but like I don't care even if he cheats. Like I'm not getting stupid to that level. How Yugi versus Seiko is the first doom in universe for Battle City. Mokuba's job is to look for the God cards, and every single person that looks for Kaiba too. Yugi summons Bear, the Magnum Warrior, and sets 2 cards. I like how they have like businessman, like what? That's a magnet with legs and arms. What's going on here? I like about Doom monsters for the first time. Seiko uses Grace for charity to draw 3 and discard 2. Yamayuki uses live intervention, which makes all monsters have to be face up, so you can't set anything. Seiko summons a stone statue of the Aztecs. Yamayuki tributes Bear to summon Baphomet. Baphomet lets Yamayuki summon Gazelle, the king of mystical beasts. Yamayuki uses polymerization to fuse Baphomet and Gazelle to summon Chimera, the flying mystical beast, which can attack due to the fact of its fusion summon the stone. And again, I'm not a big fan of that rule. That makes no sense to me personally. But hey, it is what it is. Seiko uses another grace fertility, drawing 3, discarding 2. Seiko has 4 out of 5 parts of Yugioh. Kyber knows that Seiko is using counterfeit cards, but it doesn't stop for Doom. I don't get why Seiko has contact lenses on, but he also has special ink on his card so he can see which card he's about to draw. Which from an Yugioh deck, that makes no fucking sense. All it does is build tension for Valiance, which makes sense. Ooh, I'm about to draw the last piece of Yugioh, Yugi. And it's just but from a strategic point of view, what strategy all you can do is oh my god, I'm gonna draw the last piece of Yugioh, I win! Because Yugioh's decks are supposed to stall basically till you draw all 5 and just draw your whole deck. You know what I mean? It was for a short period when I was playing Master Duel, some guy, fucking Yugioh me one turn using a panda and loops and shit, and it wasn't fun. But my point is being able to tell what call you're about to draw in an Yugioh deck makes no difference to the strategy you're about to do. So because using the guy I was playing a Master Duel as an example, but dude literally drew basically his whole deck. He was just calming and shit and getting all the pieces of Yugioh he needed to obliterate me. So it just feels again, it's just there to build tension and nothing more. Seiko summons Yugioh Golem, the moving fortress. Yamayuki figure out that Seiko wants to summon Yugioh when thinking about his friendship with Joey. Dub changes, we get a new opening. I don't like it. The opening was better. It's basically the last half of the opening is the same, but the beginning half is different. And I don't like that difference. It just doesn't feel as good, cohesive. So it's just ugh. Seiko cares more about the poster than he does Yugi's documentation in the dub. Seiko is the one to tell Joey not to tell Yamayuki about Yugioh. Also, side note, I should maybe look this up, but to see, I highly doubt this is the case. But Seiko's dub voice reminds me of I used to have this Candyland PC game. It reminds me of the Licorice dude's voice in it. Maybe same voice actor. I don't know, probably not, honestly, but that's what it reminds me of. Episode 57. Mokuba is the commissioner of his tournament to stop Chiyo's. He sucks at his job, by the way. I love how much faith Kyra has in Yugi to win. He's if you're a true duelist, Yugi, you got this. Yamayuki sets the call, Chimera destroys the stone statue. Yamayuki uses time skip to skip Seiko's deck's draw face, so he doesn't draw that sweet last piece of Yugioh. Yamayuki uses light force sword, aka cheat, since he didn't set it first, and it's a trap card, to banish one card from Seiko's hand for 3 turns, hitting a piece of Yugioh. Again, I do like the fact that, hey, this is a card like Yami Yugi pulled from a pack and it's not using it. That's very cool. I do appreciate that. I love when they treat Yu-Gi-Oh like a card game. And, for sure, I love it so much. Yami Yugi tributes Chimera to summon Skull and destroy Gilgum with it. Seiko used the source of that light to stop Yamayuki from attacking for 3 turns. Yamayuki passes turns, so does Seiko. Yamayuki sets the card and summons Alpha for Magna Warrior. Yamayuki says the biggest flaw of Exodia decks is that you don't have enough monsters to summon, which is true. But in theory, if it's a good Exodia deck, you don't need to summon monsters. You would, you do need to summon monsters, but like you just combo off, get Exodia before your opponent can do anything. So, that's probably way harder to do back when the show aired. But my point. Seiko summons one head of Exodia he has in his hand. Yamayuki uses Chain Destruction to destroy all copies of the head in Seiko's hand and deck, stopping Exodia. Because Exodia can only be, used if you have all 5 pieces in the hand. Yamayuki uses Dustinero to destroy the swords with the Laying Light. Yamayuki uses Monster Reborn to bring back Chimera. Chimera destroys the head of Exodia. Summon Skull and Alpha attack together, so we gain 200 attack each. As he do his kingdom has not left us fully in terms of full sets. Yamayuki whips the fake Exodia cards. Merrick reveals he can control the minds of his minions and other people and take control of Seiko. Merrick makes Seiko get down with his funky self. Merrick tells how talks about like how he has the Millennium Wand and he wants the God cards. The one that has all the God cards, he become Pharaoh and take over the world. Joey refuses to take Waz back from Yugi until he can challenge Yugi to a duel as a true duelist and win, which I really do like because I feel like that adds a lot to Joey's growth as he person. And I like that now Joey's score has been established for the arc. Dub changes. They made the whole ink thing a bigger deal of a dub of the show for whatever reason. I guess they don't want people counting cards in the dub. Ironic. Seiko got sent to the Shadow Realm. There's a line about that. And Joey lets Yuki keep Waz because of friendship and promise to help beat Merrick. Which I feel like is a weaker goal than his goal in the sub. Because the sub feels more personal. You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna help you beat this Merrick fella. In a children's card game to save the world. It just doesn't feel as personal. But overall I do like this episode. I do think that even though it's a story do, I do think it's good to see Yami Yuki being Exodia. I think that's a good blow thing. It's first duel of first arc being to his kingdom, Yugi, Exodia, Kaiba, and then see Yugi being in the same situation, not the first episode, but the first duel of the tournament having to deal with a similar situation and put someone else through and he overcome it. I liked. Even though Seiko is just a villain of the week, he doesn't have much personality. Here's another 2-part, starting with episode 58. Starts with Rex Raptor losing to Asperoba, who is a psychic. I like how Joey says Asperoba's challenge because Rex says Joey can't win. Tristan's visiting Serenity to watch by Seydus to give over play by play. Because she can't see produce herself. So as Purple puts on a show and he uses his ESP, Joey forgets he needs to tribute a monster to summon a high level monster. Esperopa puts on a show when he uses his ESP like every single time. But like the reason why I said it twice, is because like that's what people remember. Like, I can see into the cosmos. Like, that's what people remember of him. It's very iconic, it deserves repeating. And totally not an error of a script. Let's roll with what I said. Esperopa reads correctly that Joey has the Swordsman and one star in his hand. Esperopa summons a cyber whale who attacks Joey directly. Tristan's lying about how well Joey's doing to Serenity. Yamayuki's watching Joey's do from rooftops and see that Esperopa's family is spying on Joey's hand. Which is how Esperopa knows Joey's hand. Makes sense. Esperopa says Joey has 2 grace for dice. Joey summons Swordsman of Let's and sets 2 cards. Esperopa tribute summon the Fiend Mega Cyber, but using Cyber Whale as tribute follow. Joey uses Grave for dice to multiply a monster's attack with 500 or less attack, but the number you roll. Joey got a 3, so Swordsman of Light Star gets a attack boost by times 3, so he's down at 1500 attack. Fiend Mega Cyber attacks Swordsman of Landstar, and Joey used Scar Dice to define Fiend Mega Cyber's attack by the number he rolls by dice, 5 in this case. Joey points out that he didn't have 2 Grace for Dice, but a Grace for Dice and a Scar Dice. Joey figures out that someone was spying on his hand. Mokuba captured Esperopa's brothers. But they gave Mokuba the whole village attempt at his brother, and Mokuba becomes putty in their hands and doesn't do his job, disqualifying Esperopa for cheating. Esperopa sets the card. Joey summons Alligator Souls and attack. Swordsman of Landstar attacks where Esperopa uses mind control. It lets him take control of Swordsman of Landstar for 2 turns. Joey sets a card and ends his turn. Esperopa tributes Swordsman of Landstar to summon Jinso. Jinso destroys all traps on the field. Dub changes. Sober night will make a good coaster for any drink. Just saying, on a date night, just slip that under her drink. You will be the greatest day ever. Skull dies as a trap in the dub like how it is in the TCG, whereas a spell in the sub. And Mind Control has his episode 59 starts off with Esperopa equipping Amplifier to Jinso. Jinso gains 500 attack and will gain 300 attack every turn. Jinso destroys Alligator Soul. Joey then summons his baby dragon and just summons Time Wizard. That's the double summon. I didn't see you use double summon build, Joey. But whatever. They treat like Time Wizard like a spell card, even though it's a monster card. And it's just how it is. Joey got his Time Wizard's Time Magic off, so Baby Dragon ages into the 1000 Dragon. But Jinso doesn't age. Doesn't age at all because he is made out of a special alloy. Jinso destroys 1000 Dragon. Serenity acts a notice to tell her how her brother's doing his duel because she's getting checked on. So Tristan leaves the room. And Grandpa Bat touches Taylor. Tristan calls Taylor to tell Joey something. Joey summons 4 tokens by using Scapegoat. Serenity confronts Tristan for being a liar, pants on fire. And nothing really comes of it. She's like, I just want to know if my brother, sucks or not. And Tristan's like, okay, I gotcha. As Barobo summons Leanback Binder, who can reflect and attacking the monster's attack points back at your opponent, and Jinso gets 300 attack points due to Amplifier's effect. Joey's about to surrender, but Tail shows up to tell him that surrender. He's watching him. And Joey uses the spell called Re-Expire. By paying half of your life points, he equips Re-Expire to a monster, in this case Jinzo, and gets spin around, and wherever it lands on, it attacks. So the options are Joey, 2 Scapegoat tokens, Reflect Binder, and Esper Robo. And Jinso does win on Reflect Binder, and both destroy each other due to Reflect Binder's reflection effect, and then Jinso, destroying Reflect Binder in general. Since we were both Esper Robo's monsters, everything damage-wise hits Esper Robo. Grandpa's a little too happy that Taya hugged him, just a tiny bit. Esper Robo learns not to cheat and gives Joey Jinzo. I like how Joey tried to help Esper Robo get up after he lost, and then he refused it because he was just not being a sore loser, but he was just frustrated because he was being a number 1 duelist to protect his bros from bullies and stuff. So he just feels like he let his brothers down. But the brothers came up and go, yo, bro, you're cool. So he got back up again. I really like this duo. I think this duo is very good. I think Vengenzo is a very fun card to see people play around. Even though the trapper thing way wasn't a thing, but it was a thing because it destroys Joey's trap. But Joey wasn't thinking, oh crap, I can't use traps now, or anything like that. During the duel, it was just a one and done. And also, this does show how much Joey has grown as a duelist, because he didn't freak the fuck out like he did with Mai and her perfume trick and Duel's Kingdom. He kept a cool head, and it's okay, even if this guy has an ESP for wheelsies, I got this. I mean, he didn't have ESP for wheelsies, but that's Joey still got. And I'm so very glad for a job of that psychic thing very quickly, even though it's the most iconic thing of a badass Barobo. I can see into the cosmos. It is dropped in 15 minutes. Maybe even less in the first part. But, that's what people are reminded of. Dub changes, Reflect Binder and Real Life Spawn have an all change. They cut the scene where Joey's meet by the Robo Brothers helping their brother, which is very odd because it's it's the dub. I don't think we want to keep that in. It's not it's just a real cut. I don't understand the cut. But hey, they just cut. Joey doesn't care about the brothers and he doesn't cry, so moving on. Episode 60, this is a free palm. Some guy's being a solo winner, so Kaiba shows up and shows him a pile of Opalix for Tomoe, because this guy is hey, I beat you, but I want 2 rare cards because your 1 rare card isn't good enough. And then Mokuba shows up, he's hey, yeah, no, that's not cool. And then Kaiba shows up, he goes you're disrespecting my rare brother. If you beat me, you get all these rare cards, but you had to beat me. And he fucking just slams down his toe against this dude. Meg knows that Kaiba has Obelix. We get a church flashback of Merrick steering wall, and we learn that Merrick and Ishizu's are siblings. Ishizu knew that giving Kaiba Obelix would lead to Battle City. Merrick knows that Yami Yugi is a pharaoh and says Akana to be his next opponent. The first thing that Serenity wants to see is the brother doing when she gets her band-aids off. It's not band-aids, it's bandages. Imagine it's just like a bunch of band-aids over all eyes. I imagine that would be a pain and a half to remove. Just like all these bandages. No, band-aids. See, I'm just using them in training now. No one knows what's going on. I don't. A clown leads Yami Yugi into a tent and disappears via magic, so Grandpa and Teo, who just like showed up, try to chase down Yugi. Don't know where Yugi is. Yugi's like duelist ID cannot be found via the Hypercope computers now. So like no one can find Yugi technically, I guess. Yami Yugi's gonna do Kana after like Kana like did this magic trick of like the Dark Magician says, "Oh, you're unworthy of wielding the powers of the Dark Magician." So I like how it showed that Kana doesn't care about his cause, but where he shovels. Just like clear cut, like, hey, this guy doesn't care about his cause, he doesn't care about anything. So like, whoever loses this duel would get filleted. Actually, it's more like the foot cut off by blade swords. Well, I guess in theory, what's supposed to happen is you know, it starts off with foot, you know, and then legs, torso, arms, head, because you would just fall down. I mean, it would be painful no matter what, but you know. Akana made his Dark Magician cards a bit smaller size so he can like stack his deck, like so he can like know like well when he's shuffling and stuff, like where the Dark Magician is at all times. So when he's shuffling, you know, just shuffle it so it'll be on the top, you know what I'm saying? Yamayuki sets the card and summons Alpha of a Magnet Warrior. Akana summons Legion, the Fiend Jester. Yamayuki uses card destruction, which makes both players discard for cards in their hand and draw the same amount. Yamayuki thought Akana might cheat, so like he's like, you know, got a preemptive strike here. Yamayuki uses brain control on Legion to take control of it. Yamayuki uses Legion and Alpha to summon Dark Magician and he attacks Akana directly. Dub changes. The change the swords to like Dark Energy decks that will send you to the Shadow Realm. Because God forbid you get chop up. You just get sent to a realm for eternity as the bottom man suffering. You know, peaceful. And Obelix the Tormentor ends up in Akana's hand. So, I mean, he could just rip up his Obelix and win. Episode 61. Yamayuki no longer has any sympathy for Akana after he refused to surrender. Yamayuki thinks if Akana continues to do, he will feel the pain that he caused his cards because, you know, he doesn't care about his cards at all. Akana summons Mystical Tamara and Setsuko. Yamayuki summons Bay of a Magnet Warrior. Bay Magnet Warrior heavy Yuki. Akana uses Dark Renew, which lets you tribute a monster that your opponent just summoned, in this case Bear, and one monster you control, Dark Tamara. Mystic Tamara. It is a dark attribute monster. To summon spellcasts on your graveyard, Akana obviously chooses Dark Magician. Yamayuki sets 2 cards, Akana sets 2 cards, Yamayuki sets the card, Akana sets the card, Yamayuki sets the card, Akana sets the card, Akana uses Tragedy to try to cut off the head of Yamayuki's Dark Magician. Very violent. Yamayuki uses magical hands to hide Dark Magician and say, haha, head still on. Akana uses a fastest knife to try to destroy Yamayuki's Dark Magician, but Yamayuki uses Coast Breaker to negate all spell cards on the field. The Dark Magicians destroy each of them, and then Kana and Yamayuki both use Monster Reborn to bring back the Dark Magicians. I really do enjoy the back and forth. It's like a little magic show of magicians, though. Like, oh, you think you can hide from me? Well, here's a bunch of knives being thrown your way. It's very cool, and I like it. Yamayuki draws and passes. Kana was a famous illusion who had a girlfriend named Catherine. Somehow Kana lived through being in an exploding box. Like, the box was on a crane, and like a bomb went off, and then it like boom dropped, and like the explosion was like right near the box. So it's like, how did you live? But he was boned. His face was boned. Akana pushed Catherine away because he's like, don't look at me. I have a boned face. Merrick promised Akana to get Catherine's love using his wad. Merrick's Millennium Wad. Not any for innuendo there, just for going wad with the little two hone things at the top of it. Akana doesn't believe in trust, so he wants to go from. That's a great sign. That's that red flag. Oh, he doesn't believe in trust, but he wants to get hitched. Anyways, Catherine is watching the Doom. Catherine finds out where Yuki is and sends smoke above them. He figures this out, but going like, hey, Yuki's not doing on our systems, so like let's look up doings and like who has their own technology, and he was able to narrow it down. Akana sets the card. Yamayuki sets 2 cards. Akana uses beckon to the dark, which takes a monster to the darkness, whatever that means, probably destroyed. Yamayuki uses mystical pennant to redirect beacon to the dark to Akana's Dark Magician. But Akana uses Nightmare Enchant to make Yamayuki's Dark Magician not be able to move. Akana's Dark Magician attacks Yamayuki directly. Tan and Grandpa bump into Mokuba, and he's taking the where Yuki is. Yamayuki summons Big Shogunum. Akana summons the Daw of Demise. Akana plays Ectoplasma. And what Ectoplasma does, if you tribute a monster, you do damage to your opponent equal to half that monster's attack. So he tributes Daw of Demise, Yuki takes damage. Then he tributes Dark Magician. Dark Magician looks so betrayed when it kind of decides to tribute it. Yamayuki's own Dark Magician uses Ectoplasma to protect Yamayuki via Dark Magician's own willpower. Dub changes. I found Wheel of dub is to talk about trust, like the sub version is. I feel like normally it's like the all way around, and it's like the dub would be more trust, friendship, love, But the sub version talked about trust a lot more. Richard Mayor has TCG art. Coastbreaker had D-Spars art. Very similar cards, very similar arts, but they're 2 different cards and have slightly different arts. Treasury's card for Mystic Guillotine in the dub. Archer archers have been light censored. Because, can't show anything sharp at all. And they didn't censor the Cross and Nightmare Chains art, but they did for like the hologram. Episode 62 starts with a Kana saying a call. Yamayuki summons Gazelle, the king of mystical beasts. Kana uses Shadow Balance to make Yamayuki loses his monsters until he has the same amount as Kana, which is 0. So, Gazelle and Bing Chill gotta not get destroyed. Kana uses a Dark Magic Totem by playing half of his life points. He can special summon a Dark Magician from his deck. So, Dark Magician is summoned. Akana uses anti-magic arrows to seal Yamayuki's set card. Dogma Chick Koten also lets Yamayuki summon the Dark Magician from his deck. But it's not for Dark Magician we all know and love, because that one's in the graveyard. It's the first appearance in terms of duels, because Dark Magician Girl had her debut in Season 1 filler in the opening, but she is here. Yay! Dark Magician Girl is the student of the Dark Magician, so she gains 300 attack for each Dark Magician in each player's graveyard, including Akana's Dark Magician from earlier, which it has a very cool scene of like Yamayuki's like, open your eyes to her and betray you, of course, your monsters, and like you see like Akana's Dark Magician like slowly show up and giving like Akana like, oh, you getting like you fucking deserve eyes from behind Dark Magician Go is honestly like one of the coolest scenes. So Dark Magician Go destroys Akana's second Dark Magician and attacks for game. Tristan meets up with Taylor and the Oath. Akana has a spell key in his sleeve. Merrick takes control of Akana, so he would get cut up and like blocks the key out of Akana's mind so he can't see it. So he's like, "Oh my god, the key's gone!" Just Yuki. Yamayuki, transition back into Yuki. And saves Akana. Catherine was a doll the whole time. Lovely. Maybe Akana was so far gone because he was still like, Catherine, we can still build together. Like, and just things for dolls, Catherine. Maybe that's Merrick's brain control. I don't know. Who knows? Merrick takes control of Akana to say his name for Yuki for the first time. Like, we knew Merrick's name from episodes ago, but like, it was the first time Merrick is saying his name. Explains how he wants to kill Yuki because of so much of his family dying, but protecting the Pharaoh's memory. And talks about how Whale Hunter in the city has Slifer, the Sky Dragon, in his deck. And Tristan and Game found Yugi, and I like how it's like the same game shot, but Yugi and Joey got the dual decks from because the Whale Hunter was like working behind the decks, so and that, so it's like, oh, I see you. And we see that like Merrick has like carvings on the back of his body, aka just known as the back. I was about to say the back of a back, which, I mean, to be the back of a back, you must be in the very back. For bye. I really like this too. I do think that, first of all, the appearance of Dark Magician Girl automatically a 10 out of 10. What else can I say? It's the first appearance of Dark Magician Girl. And then, like, I do like the back and forth Yuki and Kana had very fun and very entertaining. And I do like, not exactly a mirror match, but like a mirror match between Dark Magicians. That's fun to see. And I also like Akana's like showing to be like the opposite of Yugi in terms of treatment of cards. Like Yugi's like, oh, hop of cards, man, and Akana's like, no. And so it's like a good mirror. Double changes. Merrick says the key in Akana's hand wasn't real to begin with, but like you have to use the key to like escape the shackles, like your key, your specific key. So like he drops it so Yuki uses it, unless Merrick meant like, oh, blocking that from his mind, but I don't think that was meant clear enough. But anyways, and Oneon gets name dropped. Episode 63 is not as too Paul. Starts off with Yugi, Joey, and Tai. Who's Tai? I don't know who's Tai. I think I mean Mai. Tai is from Digimon. This is not Digimon. This is Yugioh, goddammit. Mai always has the most, whatever you need to get to the finals. She has 4, Yuki has 3, and Joey has 2. I don't know how she keeps getting these low KO cards based on her history of winning and losing. Again, like, she hasn't had an on-screen win at all. Like, her only wins so far is, like, Rex Raptor off-screen and Yellow Bee guys showed. Everyone else she has lost. Panic, Taya, Joey, Yamayugi. But anyways, we see Strings, another character whose name's never dropped in the show itself, but like, I gotta call it Strings something. A kid asks for Joey's autograph, and of course, he signs it, even though the kid says he would sell it for money. He's like, I want to sell your autograph for money. But I appreciate the honesty from the kid. I love that. The kid steals Joey's Dudix. Tristan was able to get Joey's Dudix back. The kid talks about how Weaver stole his cars, and that's why he tries to steal Joey, so he can get his cars back. The kid was working with Weaver the whole time. Weaver webs up the kid instead of giving him a whale call like he promised. A boy named Kenta doesn't want to leave the hospital, so he's hiding in Serenity's room. Kenta is going to be telling how Joey is doing to Serenity today. Joey challenges Weaver, and Taylor freaks out when Weaver thinks she's cute. Grandpa thinks she's cute. Weaver thinks she's cute. A lot of people think Taya is cute. They're betting 2 whale cards and 2 leg KO cards. Joey summons Swordsman's of Landstorm attack and sets the card. Weaver summons Flying Kamara number 1. And then Flying Kamara attacks. But Joey uses the face down card sealed and so to swap for attack and defense of the monsters on the field. So Slan of Landstorm has more attack than Flying Kamara. When Flying Kamara number 1 is destroyed, it's in fact activated, letting Weaver summon 1/1 monster with 1500 or less attack. He chooses to summon Flying Kamara number 2. Joey summons Jinso by tripling Swordsman of Landstorm. Jinso destroys Flying Kamara number 2. Weaver sets a monster. Jinso attacks it. But oh no! It's a monster called Kinsa. And it clips itself to Jinso, so that means Weaver would gain life points equal to half of Jinso's attack each time it's Joey's turn. Weaver gains life points via consent attack. Jinso attacks the set card by Skull Mark Ladybug, so Weaver gains 500 life points since it was destroyed. Weaver gains even more life points via Castello's effect. Kenta doesn't want to try in life and doesn't think Joey's a very positive person. Joey summons Panther War and attacks with Yugioh attacked with Jinzo foes, and then tribute Jinzo to attack with Panther War. But no, just tribute for 2400 monster on your field before attacking with it. It's fine, but it makes perfect sense. The said monster was Pinch Hopper, which when it's destroyed, lets you special summon one insect monster from your hand. So Weaver chooses left arm Moth, and Weaver equips the Cocoon of Evolution to left arm Moth. Joey has 5 turns to destroy it before he transforms into the perfectly ultimate Great Moth. Weaver uses Reckless Parasite to make Joey summon Parasite from Joey's deck. Which Joey doesn't have that monster, but haha! The kid slipped Parasite into Joey's deck. So you know, should have double checked that deck. Which Parasite makes all of Joey's monsters insect type. And you can tribute monsters that have been affected by Parasect. Joey summons Little Wing God. Little Wing God attacks the Cocoon of Evolution, but Weaver uses Insect Barrier, which stops your opponent's insect monsters from attacking. Weaver summons Ling Hall and attacks directly, which it just can't attack directly, but its effect. Joey switches both his monsters to defense. Link attacks twice more. Joey summons Aragale Swords in defense. And Sissaka, perfectly ultimate Grey Moth is here. Double changes! The kid acts more like a fan and says his sister has a crutch on Joey. It's that Brooklyn accent. Gets delays all the time. Kenta is Ash from Pokemon. It's like, it was the biggest rash because I want, just watching the dub and all I hear is like, just Ash. It's just pure Ash. It's like, Veronica too! Just, whew. And the sensor, Parasite from, like, affecting monsters by, cutting and flashing, like, the final transformation. And they also censor, Legon's attacks by making, when it attacks, again, it's like, light on its pencils, which, why? Well, oh, it's light pencils attacking Joey. Oh, that makes it so much better. But hey, you do you, for kids. It's not like you've been absorbed by Konami or anything like that. But again, that's a long, messy history. Anyways, a very long, messy history. But anyways, episode 64, Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth destroys Alligator Souls. Only two monsters have higher attack points than Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, that being Gate Guardian and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is fucking bullshit because Philo, I know, Philo I'm comparing to like the source material, but you have 5-headed dragon and Dragon Master Knight. Both have 5 stacks to their name. I think that's more powerful than the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Kenta doesn't want to leave the hospital because his parents treat him better, and since he's in the hospital and no school. Joey Setsukon switches all of his monsters to attack. Revo Setsukon attacks with Langhar directly. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth attacks Parasite. But Joey uses God Dice to cut Grey Moth's attack in half. And uses Graceful Dice to boost Parasite's attack by Weaver's in destroying the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth in the process, so I will never have to see that name ever again. That's a long-winded name to give a point across. It's pretty good, but not really. It's a terrible card. It's terrible then, it's especially terrible now. Weaver summons Insect Searchers of the Sky. Weaver plays Eradicating Insult to destroy one insect monster. Weaver chooses to destroy another Pen Chomper so he can summon Insect Queen from his hand. Insect Queen gains 200 attack for each insect monster on the field. Serenity gives Kanta the girl try your best speech, never give up. Weaver tributes Langhar so Insect Queen can attack Little Wing God. When Insect Queen destroys a monster, it gets to poop out a token. I'm not sure why this card is pooping. I guess maybe giving both. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Weaver summons Cockroach Knight so Insect Queen can tribute so it can attack. Cockroach Knight returns to the top of the deck via his own effect. Joey uses Magical Arm Shield to have Insect Queen's attack redirected to Insect Searcher of the Sky. Since Insect Searcher of the Sky was Weaver's monster, guess he takes the damage. And now a token summon. Joey switches all of his monsters to defense. Insect Queen tributes the newly summoned Cockroach Knight to destroy Panther Warrior and summons another token. Joey summons Gil Fever on a night, who has the effect that he isn't affected by equips like Parasite. Gilfo attacks one of the tokens. Weevil summons Social Ant and uses multiplicity of ants to get 9 more copies of Social Ant. Joey uses Grave Arbor to steal and use Oaka and Salt to destroy Inside Queen. Gilfo destroys another token link, Joey Voodoo. Joey gets 2 okay cards and Inside Queen. It's just an okay Doom. Like, honestly, perfectly ultimate Great Moth and Inside Queen aren't really great boss monsters to overcome. Like, one perfectly ultimate Great Moth takes a long fucking time to summon. Which is cool to see, after season 1, but honestly, I think they should have flipped it a bit, maybe. No, I take that back. I like how this is done because it shows, again, Joey's growth, being able to take down perfectly ultimate Great Moth quickly. When Yamayuki had a hard time just taking down Great Moth. But Inside Queen's just a terrible boss monster. I'm sorry. Tributes poops out a token with 0 attack, and we release him in attack mode. I think it has to be I know it's summon an attack. I don't think it has to be an attack, but it has to be summon an attack. So it's just like and a 0. So you're just leaving up yourself for being damage. So but it's still a decent duel. It's just kind of like it's very stally too. That's weighing on my tempo for a lot of duels. Like some duels, I think it works to advantage. Like Seiko versus Yamayuki, I think that's a good stally type duel. But like this, it feels like it drags. Dub changes. Kanto somehow knows that Parasite was snuck into Joey's deck. Got a sense of Inside Queen eating monsters with light. I guess that makes it better. This episode starts with a long chain of dub changes that instead of Joey's want to do Yugi is replaced by Serenity. Because Serenity. Episode 65 is another free poem. Joey didn't take Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth because he can't summon it. As Taylor thinks, it's because without Weevil wouldn't be Weevil. But he still take Inside Queen, that trash monster. Both of them are trash. Again, I already made my point of that, but still. Moving on. Where hunters are watching Joey in the game, strings is now the move. Just people seeing if he moves it, he's just zoom. Yuki and Yamayuki talk about Yamayuki's memories and how Yamayuki gives Yuki courage. And I like how it's like Yuki's not mad, but Yamayuki didn't say anything to him. He's just like, okay, this is why you're in bad states because of your memories. Cool. And I like how Meg is literally just basically dueling Yamayuki on out via strings. No strings attached. But it's just basically Meg versus Yugi now. Yami because shows up to Ishizu's museum, but she hides from him. But Yami because he's a murderer, and it's like, oh, it's the battle for the Millennium items, I see. Very interesting. Merrick is on his little yacht thing, coming to battle soon. String sets a card and summons Humanoid Slime. Yamayuki summons Gazelle, King of Mystical Peace. String summons Worm Drink and then uses Polymerization to fuse Humanoid Slime and Worm Drake to summon Humanoid Worm Drake. I think the better name would be Slime Worm Drake, but hey, because it's not very humanoid, it's more slime. But hey, You do you. Um, but Strings uses like quick attack um, to allow Humano Worm Drake to attack for first turn and summon. That card would never be playing for TCG because the future modes doesn't exist. This is like turn 1, then OTK FTK's enable or whatever, man. But it would never happen. They would never do that. They're not that crazy. I don't think. We'll see. Who knows about Konami. Strings attack uses Lumino Drake to attack obviously because of quick attack. Yamayuki uses Diffusion to split up Worm Drake back into Slime and Worm Drake. Yamayuki summons a bear for Magna Warrior and it destroys Worm Drake, and Gazelle destroys Slime. Strings summons Revival Jam. Strings uses Jam, a wing machine, which allows him to special summon 1 token every turn. And if it's destroyed, if you don't control a slime monster. Yamayuki tributes Bear and Gazelle to summon Buster Blair. Buster Blair destroys Revival Gem, but it revives itself. With this gimmick, it just comes right back. Strings summons a token via Jam Bring Machine and then sets a call. Buster Blair tries to attack for token, but Strings use Jam Defender to make your opponent attack Revival Gem. So you basically don't attack really because you attack a monster, it's destroyed, it comes back. Literally nothing happens. Strings summons another token and then activates Nightmare Steel Cage, which stops attacks for 2 turns. Dub changes. The Dub points out how that everyone cheats in this goddamn tournament. Legitimately. Let's see. Let's take a look down the history here. Seiko with his little canvas cards. Next would be Esper Robo, pretending to be psychic, by the way he has his brother spying in his opponent's hands. Akana, trim his cards a bit so he can tell where his Dark Magicians are. And then Weaver, flipping a card in his opponent's deck. Isn't this tournament lovely? I hate with a capital HATE that the Dub has this obsession of belittling Yami Buko's plan compared to Merrick's plan. They go out of the way to do it. Again, Merrick is the big bad this season, but fuck, you could still say Merrick has an evil plan, and Yami Buko has an evil plan. You don't have to be like, oh, Merrick has a big dick evil plan, while Yami Buko has the tiny dick little plan, one will fuck you up mode. Anyways, moving on to episode 66. Yamayuki passes turn. Strings gets another slime token, and Strings attributes his slime token to summon Slifer, the Sky Dragon. And Jam Bring Machine gets destroyed. Slifer gains 1,000 attack points for each card in his owner's hands. Strings uses Power of Greed to draw 2 cards, so Slifer has a grand total of 3k. Since Slifer is a dragon, because Willie's Divine Beast, special typing for the god cards, but hey, it's fine. Buster Blow against 500 attack for each dragon on your opponent's side of the field, so it does gain that 500. Yamayuki sets 2 cards to summon Squeebum. Yama's Cage's effect ends. Slifer against 1,000 attack points and Strings draws a card and attacks Girl Buster Blow. Yamayuki uses Slifer's Soul to bench a card out of Strings' hand, causing Slifer's attack to drop. Revival Jam protects Slifer from being destroyed by Buster Blair because Jam, that Revival Jam is just all over the place, It protects you no matter what. What a true friend about Revival Jam. Strings uses cards to save return, which lets him draw 3 cards when a monster comes back from the graveyard. So Slifer jumps to 5,000 attack. Joey wants to test his skills for his last duel. He wants a true duelist. So he challenges freaking Kaiba. That's a smart idea, Joey. That's a very smart idea, but won't backfire at you at all. And we get to see the creepy chin. I like how Kaiba's like, let's get this over with. I want to knock this fucker out. I want to show this guy who's number one. It ain't him. That's for damn show. And I like how Mokmo is like, Joey, you should probably reconsider. Kaiba's like, no, let me knock his ass out of my tournament. Oh man, I love Kaiba. He's so good. And he also wants to freaking use Obelix against Joey. Oh my, can you imagine just, Obelix against Joey? But, Kaiba cancels for do because his team told him that a god card was found. Slifer destroys Buster Blair. Yamayuki attributes Kariba to summon the Dark Magician Go. Slifer's effect, is another effect, but when your opponent summons a monster, Slifer lowers a monster's attack or defense, depending on which mode is summoned in, by 2,000, and if that opponent value hits 0, that monster is destroyed. So for example, if let's use Dark Magician Go. This effect goes off, her attack is 2,000, and Slifer's effect would make Dark Magician's Go's attack drop to exactly 0. It would be destroyed. Yamayuki uses magical hats to dodge the effect. Yamayuki sets 2 cards. Strings plays infinite cards, allowing him not to have a card limit for his hand, so he can have all that sweet attack points. Slifer attacks on a magical hat. Yamayuki uses both magical cylinder to reflect Slifer's attack back, and spellbinding circle, which lowers Slifer's attack by 700 and stops it from attacking. Revival Gem protects Slifer, which allows Strings to draw 3 cards via cards from safe return. Slifer negates all spells and traps for target after a turn, and annihilates Dark Magician Go. Kaiba shows up and puts the Fighting Spirit back into Yamayuki. Dub changes. Joey wants to keep his image up in the dub instead of testing his skills, and Kaiba calls Joey a dog. We gotta keep that trend going. Episode 67. Yamayuki sets a card and summons Big Shogana on defense. Slifer's effect goes off, making Big Shogana have 600 defense points left. Lifeless effect ends, so String gets 1 more card added to his hand. Slifer is now at a huge 11,000 attack. Kaiba and Yamayuki knows how to beat Slifer. Yamayuki uses Monster Reborn. Kaiba goes I figure it out first, and then Yamayuki's like, oh, I got this, motherfuckers. So Yamayuki uses Monster Reborn to bring back from the great. Well, Kaiba doesn't say anything. He thinks it, and Yamayuki thinks it too. Yamayuki uses Monster Reborn to bring back Buster Blade from graveyard. Strings gets 3 cards via safe return, even though it's not his monster. Hey. Buster Blade's attack drops to 1100 due to Slifer's effect. Buster Blade attacks Slifer, but Revival Gem protects Slifer. Yamayuki uses Brain Control to steal a Revival Gem. This causes an infinite loop of Slifer's effect popping off, destroying Revival Gem. Strings draws 3 cards, and then Revival Gem summon again. Slifer's effect goes off. Strings draws 3 cards until Strings decks out. Yamayuki, and when you deck out, that means you can't draw any cards and you lose. In Yugioh, how it goes is that when you're required to draw a card and you can't, that's when you lose. So for example, if like you have 0 cards in your deck and someone plays like something like Moving Draw and it requires you to draw 5 cards, you would lose because you can't draw. So, Yamayuki gets Fly for a recurring Lokeo card. Yamayuki chooses to save his friends from Merrick, where to do Kaiba because Merrick's like, ha ha ha, I'm going after your friends, Yugi. I love Slifer's first duel. I think they did a great job of making Slifer feel like a god, legitimately a god. I love Slifer's design. Like, he's my favorite of the god cards. I will bring down the statue I have of him, but that might be a bit too much. He is awesome. I might add in a picture here, but like it is a cool fucking statue. Number 1 and number 2, like I love Slifer so much. Like Wall might have cooler moments in the anime, but like I don't know, something about Slifer. Yeah, I do like how Yamayuki finds basically the loophole in String's plan and use it against him. I think that's very, very cool. And an infinite loop. That's rare to see in Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like. But hey, I'm rewatching this stuff. It might be more common than I think. Dub changes no mention of life force, so its effect ending. And the dub spells out how to beat Slifer before Yamayuki gets its combo off. So it's just like, instead of seeing it weird time, Yamayuki makes sure you understand what he's about to do. Episode 68 is like another start for 2 poem. Yamayuki started by 2 rare hunters named Lumis and Umbra. During his search for his friends, Kaiba joins in several rare hunters don't, have to play rock, paper, scissors, shoot, to see who beats Yamayuki, because apparently in this universe you can't have a 2-on-1 duel. But I'm pretty sure this is for only Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime where that is the case, because I'm pretty sure like legitimately every other Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime there has been at least like 1 2-on-1. Because GX I'm kind of blanking on, honestly. No. GX had one. Well, it was technically a free-for-all, but it was basically a 2-on-1 with Jesse and JN versus Furuhawa. And then like 5Ds. The first one that comes to mind is the Crash Tunnel when you say OTK 3 guys in 1 tone. Zexo, Nitro, and Dexo versus Yuma. Arc 5, name all of them. Like, the Zog duel was basically a gauntlet of 2-on-1s. And then, Lanes had a few 2-on-1s, like, did they have, actually, hold on. Did Lanes have 2? Yeah, they did, Blue Maiden, and, Zyzen versus, I, to name one, and then it took me a bit, but we got them. We got those. I'm pretty sure this, no, because later on, this does have a 2-on-1. But to be fair, that's filler. But we get to that too. Way down the line. But we in the here now. The current rule says you can't have a 2-on-1. And it's funny because Lumens and Amba kept like shooting the same signs of another rule of 1. So Kaiba joins in. But like I could go for this like mini duel. But basically, it's just Kaiba summoning Obelix to win. Like if everyone gets their turn and then Kaiba just whips up his Obelix for Tormento and then just wins. That's just kind of like, okay, sometimes you just gotta whip out your Obelix. Yamayuki and Kaiba each get a locator card. Kaiba's going to have Yamayuki find Joey. Meiko is trying to steal fish from a killer whale and an aquarium. Oka Tama Wanum has a fever, so Mako takes over the show, and she's also very cute. I don't know how it's relevant to my scoring, but I thought to mention that she is a cutie. Anyways, Joey finds Mako and challenges him to a duel. Joey forgot to take out Parasite, curse you, tongue twister, Parasite, from his deck, so he sets it, and hoping to activate its flip effect to, infect Mako's monsters and turn them into insects. Mako summons Flying Fish and destroys Parasite. Since it's destroyed, its flip effect doesn't activate because it has to be on the field for it to go off, because it has to shuffle into your opponent's deck, but since it's destroyed, it's, not on the field, so... And to be beaten by Flying Fish, too. Only has 800 attack. Was that good? Was that good sign, Joey? Joey sets the card. Mako sets the card. Joey tributes his set monster. His card was a monster. And Mako activates Triple Tribute to destroy all monsters on Joey's field. That card is more powerful in Brand maybe than it's in real life. A wildfire hunters are watching this duel. Merrick meets Yamiko. Yamiko demands Merrick's ward. Merrick knows the secret to unlock the door of shadows, which Yamiko wants to do, and says, help me kill Yugi, which goes against your plan, but help me kill Yugi. And you can have my ward. It's that simple. Yamiko says, no deal. So the duel of shadow magic, or about to. Mako attacks directly with Flying Fish and sets the card. Joey summons Yugioh Sword and sets the card. Mako summons Amphibian Beast by shivering Flying Fish and attacks Yugioh Sword. Joey uses Fairy Box to make Amphibian Beast miss his attack. Because it's like whack-a-mole. Amphibian Beast can't hit for Mole. In this case, the Mole is Yugioh, so... Joey uses Fairy Box as an effect. So Mako counters that effect by using Yami, which makes the field wall engaged as a wall of monsters 200 attack boost. Oh, I should say Fletch, Sea Serpents, and what is it? Fish, Sea Serpents is Aqua. There's no overlap between those three at all. And so, like, Yugioh needs to come up for air. So Joey uses Scar Dives to divide Amphibian's attack by foam. And having Yugioh destroyed. Double changes! Kyra makes fun of Yamayuki for playing Creeper instead of saying he wants to be Lumis and Umbra by himself. He goes like, fuck you, Yuki, for playing Creeper, you little shit. They keep saying Shamu in reference to the famous whale Shamu. They said it twice in like 5 minutes. Actually, I think it was less than 5 minutes. I think it was like 2 minutes. The whale was proud of himself for referencing Shamu. Yami, because and Mac agreed to work together right away. Episode 69. Joey summons Baby Dragon. Joey uses Polymerization to fuse Yugioh and Baby Dragon together to summon Yugioh Soul Dragon. They gotta work on some of these fusion names, I swear. But anyways, Mako summons a monster by hiding under the sea. Yugioh Soul Dragon can fly over water monsters to attack directly. But it's probably the only time this effect will ever be relevant ever in the history of the game. I'm just saying. Mako sets the card. Joey sets the card and tries to attack Mako directly again, but Mako uses Tornado Wall, which stops direct attacks as long as Yumi's on the field. Make attributes his monsters to summon the legendary fisherman. The legendary fisherman attacks Yugioh so Dragon, but Joey uses energy drain to draw a card and to drop the legendary fisherman attack to 0. But unlikely for our Brooklyn friend, magic cards, or spell cards if you want to call them that. Most people will call them spell cards. Doesn't affect legendary fisherman, and he can be attacked when Yumi's on the field. So Dragon is destroyed. Joey sets a monster. Mako sets a monster and attacks Joey's set card with the legendary fisherman. Mako explains how he got the legendary fisherman from one of his dad's friends sent to him in an envelope, but his dad picked the card out, and so the card has very special meaning to Mako after his father passed. Joey sets a card and a monster. Mako uses Fusha's Whale's Oath to ritual summon Fusha's Whale by using Great White and Jellyfish as tributes. Mako causes strategy C-Staff 2, which this just got a card. I mean, it's not bad recently anymore by the time I'm recording this, and by the time you especially are seeing this, but it's decently new. It came out this year. Yami become back out of the shadow and says, fuck this shit, and pairs up with Merrick. Ami. Who the hell is Ami? I don't know who the hell Ami is. Yumi. Powers up Fortress Whale and attack and defense. The legendary fisherman attacks Joey's set monster. Fortress Whale attacks Joey directly. Because of how the kill whale is moving, Joey knows where the legendary fisherman is. Joey sets 2 cards. Joey summons Powerful Warrior in attack mode. Joey uses a magical shield for Fortress Whale's attack is redirected to the legendary fisherman. Mako wants to quit after the legendary fisherman got destroyed, so Joey gives a speech to Mako to give his fighting spirit back. Fortress Whale attacks again, so Joey uses Kunai with Shame to increase Painful Warrior's attack and Lightning Blade to also boost the attack. Mako uses Return of the Doom to bring back a monster. Joey uses Giant Trune to return all spells and traps to the hand. Since Yumi's bounce back, it shows that the monster that Mako brought back was the legendary fisherman because he couldn't leave in the grave. Joey uses Scapegoat. Painful attacks by attributing one of the scapegoats and wins the doom. Mako gives Joey Fortress Whale and legendary fisherman. Joey is in the finals. I like this doom. I feel like it has no fat to it. It's just basically pure dueling action. I do like how there wasn't a moment when Joey was like, let's do the same thing you did to beat Mako's deck. No. Joey came up with his own strategies and own ways to beat Mako's deck, but it wasn't like, oh, well, this is how blah 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 did. So that was nice to see, honestly. Dub changes. Energy drain looks like Silent Doom. And the cover legendary fisherman Sea Self 2. Like the Sea Self 2 legendary fisherman. And the light sensors back, because too graphic for kids. Episode 7D is Starver for Apollo. Joey turns Serenity, but he may enter the finals, and Tristan goes to pick her up. Meg is carrying an injured Bakura towards the gang. Grandpa takes Bakura to the hospital, and Yugi and Kavik just kind of walk past them without realizing we walked past them. How adorable. Hello. Ooh, so close. I'm so close. Just turn around, god damn it. Moment. Merrick lies to Joey and Tara and says his name is Namu, Warhounders attack Tori and Jera. A good old 50 cups happens, go tussle, a little brawl. Terrace Wing turns Shuffle, which is a fantastic, OP, fantastic by the way. But, why didn't you try to call it before before you start moving? I'm just saying, makes more sense than trying to call it now. Joey, Tail, and Mokuba, who gets kidnapped on just random rooftops. Apparently, Merrick has his Warhounders trained to be the next America Ninja Warrior, and it's Ombras and Luma again, and they challenge Kaiba and Yuki to do on top of a building, because, they have hostages. I like how they're doing the ball showing Yuki that they have Taya and Joey. They do this grand show about, oh, we have Mokuba, but, they don't even bother confirming that they have Taya and Joey. They know that Yuki's gonna go along with it. If you lose this, dude, you fall to your death. There's, a little device thing that, when you hit, your life points hit 0, it shatters the glass you're staying on, and you will fall to your doom. You'd be just a splat on the pavement. Luma starts the duel by saying 2 cards. Yamayuki summons Bear, the Magnum Warrior. No one can attack on the first turn and attack duel, so no shenanigans though. Umba summons Shining Abyss, and Loomis uses max of brutality on Shining Abyss to make it gain 1 stack. But you have to pay 1,000 life points to keep Shining Abyss. Umba uses max dose of it to pay maintenance costs for max cards. What a wonderful coincidence. Kaiba summons Volkswagen and sets 2 cards. Dub changes. Joey calls Tristan like a cousin after he leaves to get his sister. Even though Tristan has a crush on his sister, can I hear a Sweet Home Alabama from the crowd? No blood or fighting at all because this is children TV show. Goddammit, but we'll never see blood or fisticuffs. Instead of falling to your death, you fall into the child realm. Ooh. And then Max Star has been light censored because light censors everything. Boobs, stabbing things, butts. What's the difference? Episode 71. Loomis plates the max of a clothes and equips it to Bear, the Magnet Warrior. This stops Bear from attacking or switching positions. Yamayuki takes 500 damage during his turn. Loomis sets a call. Yamayuki uses 500 life points via max of a coast. Loomis uses max of restrict to stop all tribute summoning. Yamayuki sets a card and summons Kariba. Umba sets a card. Shining Abyss attacks Volkswagen, but Kaiba uses Ring of Destruction on Shining Abyss, so it would be destroying. Both players would take damage equal to his attack. Loomis used Code Transfer to make the target of Ring Destruction to Volkswagen instead. Kaiba uses Ring of Defense to protect his life opponents from traps effect, so he wouldn't take damage from Ring of Destruction. Loomis uses the spell version of Close Transfer to change the target of Ring of Defense to him instead of Kaiba. So Kaiba now would be the one to take damage. So he does take the damage. Shining Abyss attacks Kaiba directly. We go to see Taya. She's in a warehouse full of boxes. Mokuba is put in the same room as Taya. And Taya's just thinking, oh well, this is the battle that Ashizu must be talking about, so there we go. Um, Yamayuki uses multiply on Kuribo to save Kaiba. Gotta save Kaiba via those hairy balls. Um, Kaiba sets the card and summons Battle Ox. Illumines uses the max of Dispel to stop effect of Multiply and have Yamayuki take 500 damage during each of his turns. Yamayuki takes 1,000 damage due to the max effect. Yamayuki and Kaiba talk about like Yamayuki playing Call of Destruction and their own vague special way. They low key like Yamayuki is thinking about it, but Kaiba is like, oh, I know what he's thinking about. He goes like, oh, well, I have a trash can, just play it. So Yamayuki sets the card. Umbo uses the ritual called Coast of a Max Beast to summon Max Beast by tripling Shining Abyss and a Grand Tiki. Battle says Yamayuki from the Max Beast attack, since if they don't have to attack, better to attack Yamayuki directly. Seems a bit broken, but hey. Yamayuki uses Call of Destruction to make all players discard their hands and draw the same amount of cards they discarded. Kaiba uses Monster Reborn to bring back a blue-eyed white dragon that he had in his graveyard. That he discarded thanks to Call of Destruction. Dub changes. Kaiba blames Yamayuki for triggering Max of Restrict for no reason. Just like, damn you, Yugi. Ring of Destruction doesn't have his grenades. It's like still like red orb things. Episode 72. Kaiba doesn't understand teamwork and thinks he just gotta use Yamayuki to win, What's the point of teamwork? Absolutely no point at all. Yamayuki tells Kaiba to attack with Blue Eyes even though he has less attack than the max beats. But Kaiba, listen. Archfiend of Guildford's effect activates when it's sent to the graveyard, in which it was via card destruction. Equipping himself to max beats, making it lose 500 attacks, so Blue Eyes does have more attack points than max beats. And destroying it. Lumen sets a monster and 2 cards. Yamayuki uses 1,000 life points due to max effect. Yamayuki sets the card and summons Alpha for Magna Warrior. Alpha destroys Luminous' monster. Joey gets brainwashed by Merrick without seeing Merrick, so he doesn't know Merrick is Merrick. Yes. Mokuba escapes for a hunter thanks to Tails' box building skills. So like Mokuba sneaked out like a window in the warehouse. Umbra summons Yugioh and attacks Blue Eyes. Umbra uses max of weakness to make Blue Eyes lose his 700 attack. He uses max brutality to make Rogue Dog gain 1,000 attack. Yamayuki used Mystical Ram Pano to equip max brutality to Blue Eyes instead. Kaiba thinks the only thing you can trust is power, because, big number wins your duels. Lumens and Umbra's teamwork breaks down and just bickering with each other. Umbra sets the card Tristan and Serenity head to Battle City via train. Blue Eyes attacks Umbra, but Umbra uses the max of impregnity to protect himself so he doesn't take any damage or anything. And Kaiba kind of like, hey, would Umbra do protect Loomis? I don't know. Something to think about. Trying to like make their teamwork break down even more. Loomis sets the card and then uses card exchange so he can exchange his Hand of Zero with Umbra's Hand of 3. Loomis uses Chosen One to place 3 cards face down. One of them is a monster and 2 of them are like non-monsters. And the Chosen One is just a random spin. If it lands on a monster, you get to summon that monster. And of course it lands on a monster, that would just not be exciting yet. It's like, oh, we did summon the monster, we have no cards on our hands and nothing on the field. Oh no! And the monster is the Max Beast Death Goddess. Dub changes. Kaiba makes fun of Umbo for playing a doll. Tristan is upset that he got friend zoned by Serenity. And Max Beef's Death Godna is sensitive because it has like a potion in his chest, and now it's just replaced by like a gem type thing. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'm guessing a gem. Because this is what it looks like, but you know, bye bye whoever that is. And Max Beef's Death Godness, he would be missed. Episode 73. Kaiba baits Loomis into attacking Blue Eyes with Max Beef's Death Goddess. Yamayuki takes 1,000 damage due to the max effect. Yamayuki summons Gamma, the Magnet Warrior, and all three of Yamayuki's Magnet Warriors combine to throw Bacterion, the Magna Warrior. Yamayuki thinks attacking is a trap, so it must, well, just kind of wait a bit, you know. Kaiba's very upset, very upset by losing Blue Eyes and all it being destroyed. But like, Yamayuki is like, hey man, you need to calm down. And Kaiba thinks of a way to summon Obelix. Victurion destroys Macbeef's Death Goddess, which activates its effect, which allows Ombo plays Max of Remnants, which allows Loomis to take control of Victurion. So basically, it's a brain control that pops off when you destroy, like, what is it, like, 3,200 attack per monster. I think it's only by battle, if I'm not mistaken. But that's going on top of my head. So, you know. Ombo plays Max away, which allows Ombo to take control of the Victurion. Yamayuki used Defusion to break apart Victurion back into Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. Kaiba used Soul Exchange to be able to summon Obelix by triggering the 3 Magna Warriors. Umbo loses, but he has a parachute, so he lives. He's fine. He doesn't die. The dude just kind of ends after Kaiba whips up his Obelix, because it's just like, what's the point? He summoned Obelix. Meg brainwashes Loomis to tell Yugi that, hey, Taylor's brainwashed, and to do a brainwash Joey, Yamayuki are now in the finals. Because they each now have enough locator cards. Yamayuki and Kaiba are now on the way to Joey because Mokuba shows up and it's gonna take them there. I like this duel. I mean, I don't like. I hate duels that just kind of don't finish, but like, it basically was kind of over. Then again, because they did make the point throughout the duel, it's like, hey, you know, if you lose your partner, you fucked. You're not coming back. You're screwed. And on top of the God card, so I think they're like, well, I mean, we could finish this, but like, what's the point? Type stuff we basically won, and Loomis has lost the will to do. I mean, it's always fun to see like Kaiba and Yamayuki team up, so like, I'm not gonna knock it, because like, again, fun time. And it was a fun time. To see, like, first of all, we finally see fucking Gamma, the Magnet Warrior. Then we see Victurion, finally. But, like, yeah, I do think this duo overall is a very fun duo. Dub changes. If I have a scene when Umbra falls, like, turn orange, it's, like, weird. I don't know. It's not very child-well-me. And honestly, the dude gets a, like, you can argue child-well is worse than dying, whatever, all day long. But like, the dude lives in the sub version, and the dude get sent to the Shadow Realm in the dub. Which, then again, what's the point of having a parachute in the dub if you just gonna fall to the Shadow Realm? That makes no sense because, at least you land safely into the Shadow Realm. It's just a bit ridiculous. Episode 74 is a recap episode. I mean, Yamayuki tells Kaiba and Mogba that he's a spear of a nameless pharaoh. And we're also alone if you're doing it in the middle of the street. During this tournament, traffic has to find a way around you. Because Kaiba literally took over the city. That maniac. I mean, I have nothing else to say about this episode. That's kind of it. I mean, dub changes. The scenes of them recapping Joey's duels are different. But that's it, really. I mean, again, there's no meat to this episode. So, really moving on to 75, which is another for Paul. Orion had won 12 locator cards, so him and Merrick are in the finals. A lot of people getting into the finals now. They turned Joey's deck into the worst bone deck ever. It's even a freaking bone deck. I mean, if they have bone damage cards in it, but I want to call it a bone deck. But hey, Kaiba points out, what is teamwork when you have to fight against your BFF? Yamayuki's upset about this. This is how he's gonna do Joey and Bowser, brainwash and all that stuff. And of course, brainwash Terra is here too. So there's like a giant anchor that both players are tied to. So the winner can free themselves, and the loser will go down to the bottom of the sea. Very similar to Canada's duel. Well, this time, instead of getting chopped up by a saw, you drown. Lovely. They have a 40-minute time limit to finish the duel before both goes to the bottom of the sea. Kaiba tries to stop the duel, but if he does, Merrick will drop a crate on Taya, just flatten her like a pancake. Taya is free of brain control, so she can watch this duel because Merrick is not a cruel person. He goes like, I'll let you watch your friends do to the death. Yamayuki put Slifer to the side, and he put Wells in his deck. Red Hunters gather around Tristan's sovereignty. Yamayuki summons Gazelle, the king of mystical beasts. And I can't believe Joey wasted Geki to destroy Gazelle, because Geki writes out all monsters on the fucking field, on your opponent's side of the field. And he wasted it on one monster, and that monster was Gazelle. Okay, well, hey, whatever. Joey summons Alligator and attacks Yamayuki directly. Yamayuki summons Big Shogun, and if he used to get healed, that would make more sense, because, Big Shogun has a big butt. Joey uses Hinata to deal 500 points of damage to Yamayuki's life points. Apparently, spell cards that do damage to your opponent's life points are banned by Battle City. Battle City has its own ban list. Eric says Joey has all the banned cards, just all of them. He has, Hyako, I don't know what I was about to say, Hyako, I mean, that is banned, but will that be banned during this time? Probably, maybe. Yarlock? Maybe, I don't know. That is something I would have to look up. But it's like, wait, that's not banned anymore. But like, that just recently got unbanned. Emperor Dragon, stuff like that. I mean, he might be like, and again, he might be doing Yarlock. The Were Hunters attack Tristan's sovereignty, so Tristan runs away with sovereignty. Yamayuki sets the call and summons Kuribo. Agiso attacks Kuribo. So Yamayuki uses Spellbind and Circle to make Agiso lose 700 attack and make it unable to attack. Joy uses 9 hero tower to deal 500 more points of damage. Double changes. Cover just points out if Joy has cards that each shown half rather than using ban cards. Episode 76. Yamayuki is sad but Joy lost the Hall for Duelist. Yamayuki wants to switch out with Yugi, more like Yugi wants to switch out with Yamayuki, but they do come in agreement with it. And because he made a wish on the puzzle to make friends, and that's how he thinks he got his current friends, so he wants to do this on his own so he can say, hey, I got these friends on my own. Meg isn't happy that Yugi switched in. Tristan and Serenity get cornered by White Hunters. Tristan kicks some ass and is helped out by Duke Deflin, bringing Sexy back with his dice. Yugi uses exchange, which allows each player to take a card from their opponent's hand. Joey couldn't take wares from Yugi even though Merrick wanted him to. So Joey picks Card Destruction, Yamayuki takes Magical Arm Shield. Yugi knows that Joey isn't completely gone since he didn't take Red Eyes. Yugi tributes Kuribo and Big Show Anna to summon Red Eyes, whereas wants Joey to regain a Heart of Duelist, whereas destroys the Aguilar Soul. Joey uses third and last copy of Hero Tower to deal 500 more points to Yugi. Duke has a Think of Serenity too. We have a Love Triangle now. Hey, it is what it is. A Love Triangle, not Yu-Gi-Oh! Serenity is worried about her brother. Joey summons Rocket Warrior, which has the effect to make a monster lose 500 attack when it's attacked. And Rocket Warrior isn't destroyed. Joey uses Elation to make Warriors lose attack equal to the damage she would have taken from Rocket Warrior's attack. Joey is upset that he hurt Red Eyes. Yamayuki gives Joey his puzzle so he can hold on to him when Yugi dies when this duel is over. Dub changes. All fight scenes have been edited out, including a slap that Merrick gave Orion. And they make Joey fighting back his brainwashing more obvious in the dub. Episode 77. Joey's about to throw a piece of a puzzle into the sea, but he remembers Season 0, Episode 1. And couldn't do it, whereas he gains 500 attack, but he lost from Rocket Warrior's attack. Yugi sets 2 cards and summons Bea, the Magnet Warrior. Joey summons Panther Warrior. Now Joey's just like on his own page, he's just sparing Merrick a lot. So instead of attacking with Panther Warrior, he attacks Bea with Rocket Warrior. Yugi uses Magical Arm Shield to have Rocket Warrior attack Panther Warrior instead. Panther Warrior loses all of his attack points both to because of Rocket Warrior's effect and Annihilation. And then Panther Warrior gains his 500 attack back. By a loss from Rocket Warrior's effect. Yugi tributes Bea to summon Archfiend of Guilford and it destroys Panther Warrior. Tristan, Duke, and Serenity went to White Hunters, so Tristan says back to fight them. Duke and Serenity bump into Mai, who I forgot was even in this arc. I'm not even joking. When I was watching this and she showed up again, I'm like, oh shit, you're in this arc. Okay, I forgot. Tristan got the location of Joey from one of the White Hunters, so he beat up. Mai comes and pick him up. Meg wants Joey to waste time, so both Joey and Yugi will die. Yugi mentions Serenity and the promise, so Joey sets 2 cards. Yugi sets a card and has Archfiend of Guilford attack Panther Warrior. Joey uses Scar Dice and Graceful Dice. Yugi uses Deal Spike to set up Graceful Dice. Scar Dice has his Archfiend of Guilford to attack, who is still able to destroy Panther Warrior. Mai Duke and Tristan and Serenity show up. Tara doesn't want Serenity to see her brother brainwashed. Dub changes. It seems it makes no sense for Joey to throw a piece of puzzle away for Dub, since the Dub Merrick needs for puzzles, so you're just making more work for yourself there, Merrick. My book break for fourth wall to tell us not to drive like him. Also, and I mentioned this now, but it's like every episode, Merrick loves to say the word fool, like a lot, like I'm pretty sure if you average it out, it's like one per episode of this season. He reminds me of a certain prosecutor. I'm just saying. Episode 78. Kaiba calls someone in his code call. Joey drew Mirror of Destruction, which deals 500 points to the player who used it, and 1,000 to your opponent. Joey remembers all the duels he has been in. Yes, literally, they go over every single duel he has been in the show. Joey doesn't want Merrick to put in the memory of wanting to kill Yugi in his mind. Yugi says that Merrick is the real loser here because Joey beat Merrick, and Yugi says he will feel Joey. Merrick takes full control of Joey and plays Mirror of Destruction. Joey breaks out of his mind control because he doesn't want Yugi to die. Yugi used mystical Ram Panel to take control of Mirror of Destruction. Yugi explains to Joey what is happening. Kaiba sends his self-flying helicopter because, you gotta show off that you're rich. Self-flying helicopter. Into the crane that's holding the crate over Taylor. And then Kaiba throws the car into the Were Hunter's hand to get him to drop the remote that, drops the crate. And, the card is, sticking out of the Were Hunter's hand. That is one sharp card. Kaiba saves Taylor. Yuki says that Joey told him that he wasn't alone, and courage. Yuki uses mystical Ram Panel to target himself with Mirror of Destruction. Yugi saves his deck before getting dragged under the sea. Mirror of Destruction makes Wires attack Joey, dropping his life points to 0 as well. Joey didn't have time to grab his key to free himself since he saved his deck and repulsed him. He grabbed Yugi's key. Both Joey and Yugi get dragged underwater, but Joey was able to free Yugi. Serenity undoes her band-aids to see her brother saving Yugi. Serenity dives after Joey and saves him. Kaiba says Joey has moved up a bit in his books, which is awesome. You have owned the appreciation of Kaiba-sama there, Joey. And Kaiba also says, but it's a very low respect is added to Joey's name in Kaiba's books. It's not much. Kaiba also says he got the answer about teamwork after seeing Yugi and Joey's doom. Serenity said that Joey gave her courage since the first thing she saw was him trying to save Yugi. Yugi got his puzzle back. I love this dude. This dude is great. It really does show the bond between Yugi and Joey, especially the last half. Moments like Joey screaming that he doesn't want Yugi to die, and that's how he breaks out of his mind control. When it's a bit too late though, Joey. But still, that's a very powerful moment. For sure. And the fact that Joey cared more about Yugi than his own life. And his both duels care more about their cards than their own life though. But Dub changes. Joey cared more about freeing himself from mind control than Yugi dying. What a true friend. And then the card didn't go into Rose Hunter hand when Kaiba threw it, and my didn't slap Joey. Episode 79, we see the Shen. I said she uses an Amazon deck, but it's you expect with Amazoness, in with your popularity deck. It's Amazon is such popularity. Let's be honest, Mike. Let's not get kicked. Let's not act like you completely changed your deck. You got some new monsters. Beginning heading to the finals now. Merrick embodied his consciousness into Bako so he could talk to Yami Bako. And Merrick wants Yami Bako to be in the Biosay finals. Yami Bako points out that means that, your plan failed. Yami Bako steals the guy's duel decks in a Lokeo call. Yami Bako hoped there was some duelists in the graveyard, like, how typical duelists always hang out. I hang out in my local graveyard to duel people. Bones and that crew are scaring duelists, and that's how they're getting their Lokeo cards. Of course, this doesn't work on Yami Bako. I like how Bones points out, like, hey, you hang out with Yugioh, to Bako. They're betting all of the Lokeo cards to get into the finals, because Yami Bako is like, hey, the finals are soon, You have 5, I have 1, must bet them all. Yami Bako makes it a shadow game. Yami Bako summons Headless Knight and sets the card. Bones summons Snakehair. Snakehair destroys Headless Knight. Yami Bako uses Shadow Grave to bring back Headless Knight. Yami Bako attributes Headless Knight to summon of Demise and destroys Snakehair. Bones summons Dragon Zombie. Bones uses Premature Barrow to bring back Snakehair by paying 800 life points. Bones uses Polymerization to fuse Snakehair and Dragon Zombie to summon Great Mammoth of Gold Fine. I don't know how combining Medusa and a Zombie Dragon gives you a Mammoth. But hey, whoever floats the Yugioh boat. Bones set a card. Bones activates Skull Invitation, which each time a card gets sent to the graveyard, the owner of that card takes 300 damage. Yami Bako discards her hands and takes 1200 points of damage. Yami Bako uses a spell card called Spiritualistic Medium. For every card he discards, a monster he controls gains 500 attack, so Oath of Demise gains 2000 attack. And destroys Great Mammoth of Gold and Fine. Bones lose 300 life points to Skull Invitation. The Bones cannot run away no matter how much they try. They just loop back to where Yami Bako is. Bones use Nightmare Carriage so no one can attack for 2 turns. Yami Bako use Ectoplasma to tribute of Demise to deal damage equal to half of his attack, winning Yami Bako of Doom. Well, Bones and friends are now dead. That's kind of depressing. They weren't exactly great people, but I don't think they deserve death like that. I really like this episode because it actually makes Yami Bako feel like a threat. Like, he just killed 3 people to get into the finals. He didn't have to kill them, but he did. Dub changes. Because the dream that Bako was having before Merrick and Yami Bako talked. Because Yami Bako whipping out the IV drip out of his arm. And go licensing, even though it was used on the shadows, the swallows, the Bones gang too. They really like just flashing lights on everything. Episode 8. This episode sucks. I hate this episode. I hate everything about it. This is Mai vs. Jarkon Magma. There's no purpose to this duel. This is 100% film. There's no purpose to it. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't increase my enjoyment of anything. It's just here to buy fucking time. I could go over this dude, but I actually hate this dude to go in because it makes Mai feel incompetent. even though she wins, and this is somehow her only on-screen win when she drops her opponent's life points to 0. But like it just makes my seem incompetent. She can't handle like a bunch of monsters under 1,000 attack points. I guess like, oh, ninjas are being spawned. You know, there's multiple ninjas, but like, you couldn't do something more until like the very end. It's just like, it's terrible. It's a terrible dude. I don't even want to fucking go over it. Because it's just like ninja spawn, summon like this ninja on a kite, and then like my guy through, like, just it just doesn't have anything. Which good film adds to the world it's building on. Does that automatically make it good? No. Because I can point to plenty of examples in Boruto, for example, that do that. But, like, you know, shit. But, like, the point is, like, let's, like, Goodfellow do build on the anime canon. Or, like, do add something more. I mean, I guess, again, it adds Mai's only on-screen win, but she drives her opponent's life points to 0 against fucking John Clone Magma. But, like, that's it. You know, it doesn't, like, add anything to Mai's character. Like, the flashback to Mai's past, but it doesn't add anything to Mai's past because it's based off something she said in Dude's Kingdom about being a casino. Like, you know, casino dealer in boats, even though it kind of was based off of that statement, but like, it's just not fair. Like, nothing here is substantial. Nothing to really sink your teeth into. The only thing I got some enjoyment is that Yugioh Doom monsters protected Aki, basically, because Ninjago is just Aki. I mean, like, fucking look at it. You cannot tell me they're not the same person. I hate it. If you couldn't tell, I hate this episode. I know I said it, but like, this episode is like a 1 out of 10. It's just not a joke, but it's nothing here. Episode 81 has a new OP and ending. Wild Drive by Masato Nakaya and Paradise by Cave. They aren't good. They are. I'm not sure if I would say Paradise is my least favorite Yu-Gi-Oh ending, but Wild Drive definitely is my least favorite Yu-Gi-Oh opening of all time. And they're definitely my least favorite pairing of songs just together. They're very low on my list of. Well, I mean, Wild Drive is at the bottom. So it's just. Yay. Orion and Merrick are in the stadium of the finals talk about how things are going, you know, like, talk about how the puzzle is upside down, symbolizing the darkness, because pyramids are right side up, symbolizing the light. Yuki's gains the first one to like, reveal themselves. Merrick, who began thinking this mood, shows up. Joe is on to Merrick, but Merrick uses brainwashing to get Terra to change the subject. Next up is Bakura, and the gang is shocked by this. And Yuki's on to Bakura thinking it was Yami Bakura. Orion shows up saying that he's Merrick. The finals are taking place on a blimp. Kaba and Mokba are fine laying of non-duelists of Yuki's group beyond the blimp. Kaiba is impatient because all the god cards are here. Real fucking good. Fuck the 8th duelist. But the 8th duelist, who's obviously Shizu, shows up. I'm not playing crow about that. It's Shizu. Everyone knows it's Shizu. She looks exactly like Shizu. And Kaiba tells Yugi to add Slifer to his deck because he's like, you haven't used Slifer since you got him. Even though you only had like 2 dudes to whip out Slifer, you better have that card on your deck. Yugi is really worried about Bakura and the 8th duelist since no one saw her. Like, this episode's fine, you know, it's like, just like, the prelude to the finals. Nothing like earth-shattering happens. But, like, you know, it's just set up, so, like, it's okay. Dub changes cover cards, Joey, and Monkey. Twice. In the sense of my drinking wine, because you can't have kids thinking drinking alcohol is okay. So moving on to episode 82. This starts a free pod. Bakura tells Joey that he uses an occult deck, and Joey compares Bakura to Bones, which is funny because, you know, Bakura killed him. And Bakura says he beat Bones easily, so Joey doesn't want to do him. He's like, he creeps me out. Matches are picked via a bingo machine, which is actually, I think, well, it's a shame. Like, it's cool that this card got made into, like, a card, like the bingo machine, but, like, it's a shame, but it's, like, the only Blue Eyes Socha. I can't remember if, like, Blue Eyes got a new Socha when, they got the most recent support, but, like, this was, like, the only support, Socha, card, or maybe still is again. I can't remember top of my head if the new Blue Eyes support hasn't had any Socha or not. But man, that's rough a bit. So Ishizu is just showing off her powers now. And like when someone comes to get her, be like, hey, you know, we're drawing to see who goes up against who. She's just like, I know I'm doing last. Let them have their bingo fun. And versus Bakura versus Yuki. I Kaiba think it's a good idea to have duels on top of a blimp. When like 1,000 feet in the air, cards would be flying down that freaking blimp. Yami Yuki just calls out Yami Bakura right away. And Yami Bakura doesn't eat Yuki's puzzle yet, so he's like, I'm gonna have to Slifer of a Sky Dragon. And he only wants Slifer to trade from Merrick's Ward. Yami Bakura summons the Portrait Secret, and Yami Yuki summons Gazelle, the King of Mystical Beasts, and it destroys the Portrait Secret. Yami Bakura seems not fazed by this at all. And Yami Yuki sets a card. Yami Bakura summons the ghost of Field Dreams. Yami Yuki summons Gamma of a Magnet Warrior and destroys the ghost. That is a tongue twister. Gazelle attacks Yami Bakura directly. Yami Bakura summons Headless Knight. Darren destroys Headless Knight. Gazelle attacks Yami Bakura directly. Yami Bakura tributes 3 fiend types. Monsters from his graveyard to summon Deck Necrofield. Yami Bakura sets 3 cards. Yami Bakura obviously like lured Yugi in, but like haha, he's all these weak monsters in attack mode. Attack me, bro. Hit me, come on and hit me. Type stuff. So Yami Yugi tributes Gazelle to summon Dark Magician Go. Yami Yugi uses magical formula to give Dark Magician a 500 attack boost. Dark Magician Go destroys Dark Necrofield. When Dark Necrofield is destroyed, Yamiko can play Dark Sanctuary. Dub changes. The number that each duelist gets sticks out more, but dub. The light actually helps. It's not used for censoring, but make it pop out more, which is actually very appreciated, because I had a hard time reading those numbers in the sub version. Yami Bakura basically sounds American, but like Yami Yuki doesn't take it out seriously. He goes like, "One of your friends, Yuki, is really an enemy and goes nowhere. But like Yami Biko basically was like, "Hey Merrick, yeet," you know. And if it took away Dr. Knockfield's doll thing, Dr. Knockfield doesn't bone when it gets destroyed. Episode 83, Dark Sanctuary summons a ghost that goes inside one of Yugi's monsters once per turn, but Yugi doesn't know which one. It was Gamma, and when you attack with a monster that has the ghost in it, you take damage equal to half of its attack points, and Yamabiko gains life points equals to half of a monster's attack points. So that's what happens with Gamma. Yamabiko uses Destiny Bulb. If it spells out death, Yamabiko wins! Yamayuki it is funny because they're all like it's one of those Richibo things. It looks like that's exactly what it is. We contacted the dead to spell out death. We started with a diva. Yamabiko uses a Dark Dough, which only makes it so you can attack with one monster per turn. Yamabiko sets the card and summons Overbound Spirit. Yamabiko needs to tribute a monster to keep Dark Sanctuary. So bye-bye Overbound Spirit. Yamabiko his plan is like basically really is to hope that Yugi keeps attacking with monsters that have the ghost in it. Gain life points, he loses life points, spell death. That's his game plan. Yugi summons Kuribo. Dark Magician Girl attacks directly, but oh no, the ghost had moved on to her. So Yugi takes damage. Yamabiko gains life points. Yamabiko gets the E. Dark Sanctuary lets Yamabiko play spells and traps in his monster zones. Yamabiko summons Sangan to tribute to keep Dark Sanctuary. With Sangan's effect, let Yamabiko draw a card, but flashback to the Rebecca fellow and let her search like how its effect is in the real card game. But whatever, we let it slide. Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Even though this is the second time it's happened with Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest. Okay, so whatever. Yamayuki summons Big Shirogana. Yamayuki has Gamma attack directly, but Yamabiko uses Dark Spirit Sun, which makes Dark Magician Go attack instead, and the ghost was on Dark Magician Go, so Yamayuki takes damage, Yamabiko gains life points. Yuki sets 2 cards, Yamabiko gets his A. Yamabiko summons Souls of a Forgotten to tribute for Dark Sanctuary. Yuki uses Collective Power, which makes all equips go to Creeper. So Creeper gets the little magic formula, and the ghost gets second to Creeper. Yuki uses Exile of the Wicked to destroy all monsters on the field that are Fiend type. So Creeper is destroyed and takes the ghost with him. Yamayuki uses Monster Reborn to bring back Dark Neckfield, which makes Dark Sanctuary go away because it needs to have Dark Neckfield in the graveyard to be activated. Yamayuki attacks directly with Dark Neckfield. Yamabiko gets a T, but there's no spaces left for him to place the T since he lost Dark Sanctuary. Dub changes! Destiny's Board spells out Final instead of Death. Because can't have death in my card game anime. And Kaiba's Mo show of Yugi's doing skill in the sub and he is in the dub. Like, I love sub Kaiba for the fact that he believes in Yugi a lot more. He goes like, Yugi could do this if he's a real duelist and stuff like that. And just dub Kaiba's just dunking on Yugi. I love you dunking dub Kaiba, but like, I just like how that relationship is a bit different though. Episode 84, Yami because summons Jiaogen, the spiritualist, but just calling one call, Jiaogen destroys all special summon monsters. That means Dark Nectarfield goes back to Yamabiko's grave, and Dark Sanctuary is back. Yamabiko tributes Jiaogen to keep Dark Sanctuary. Yamabiko sets the call, goes his back, so Yamabiko sets another Dark Spirit of the Silent. Yamayuki tributes Dark Magician Gamma, and Big Shugana to summon Slifer, the Sky Dragon. I love the summoning so much, because I just love how like Slifer wraps around the blimp with his tail and his body. It's like awesome. If I could get a figure of that, I would love that to death. Because it's just so epic. Slifer has 3,000 attack. Due to Yamayuki having 3 cards in his hands, Odeon pretends to release Yamabiko from Biko to get Yuki to stop his attack. Yamabiko doesn't want to win this way, so he takes control again. Yamayuki wins with Slifer. Yuki knows the wing had disappeared, and the brainwash Teo has it. This Doom, it's fine. Like, I'm not a big fan of like how stally Yamabiko's deck is. And the whole ghost and like the door of darkness and all that stuff. But like, I love that Slifer summoning so much. That Slifer summoning is so good. But this dude is okay. It's definitely not my favorite out of the season by a long shot. But it's not John Con Magma bad. Not even close. Dub changes. Yamabiko doesn't want Biko to be hurt instead of not wanting to win in the way Merrick wanted him to. Episode 85 is the start of the full Apollo. Kaiba calling Joey lame is funny to me. It's just funny to me. I'm sorry. I love it. The gang asks Kaiba to land the blimp, but the blimp has the best doctors on the planet. Because it does. Because that's what happens when you get Zero now. You just have the best doctors on your private blimp for your dueling tournament. Tristan's gonna to look for the wing and takes Duke with him. Tristan and Duke fight over Serenity, and I live is not the start of a flow problem. Why did I put that in the script? I don't know. That's what happens when you read directly from the script. You get lied to. This is just a one-off episode. So, Tristan and Duke fight over Serenity. They fall, overboard. Like, Tristan is, hanging on for dear life with one hand and holding on to Duke with other. And Shari shows up and saves them. Shari shows up before Yuki. Shari says all 3 God cards and all 7 minimum items are on the blimp. AKA everything Yami Yugi needs to unlock his memories. If it's a non-chosen one tries to use the items or a God card, they will feel God's wrath. We get a flashback with how Shari showed Pegasus the God so he can make them into cards. Shari thought this was a bad idea, but he's okay with it because he thought it would help him find the host of items. The people making the God cards are dying. I like how a guy going over photos Obelix in the Red Room. Obelix is just kind of in the photos, and I just like because then the guy falls out of the window. I just like to think Obelix literally just fucking pushed him out, somehow. I mean, it's the wrath of the gods. O's didn't die but lost their minds. Pegasus just fine, I do it myself. And made the 3 God cards and dreams of terrible powers that the God cards have. So Pegasus gave Shizu the 3 God cards for safekeeping. That did not work out, did it? I like how we got a bit of history of the God cards here in this episode. And more Pegasus. Even if it's a little bit. And that's really all that can be said about this episode. I like it, but there's not much meat to it. You know what I mean? It's a nice little taste. Dub changes Tristan and Duke's fight is cut short. Because violence, and that one guy didn't get pushed out the window of a dub. That is a crime. I know it's bad, but like I burst out laughing because I just like to picture like Obelix, like when the guy's actually no, the guy was facing forward based off of his spell, just like push. Or like just like came out and just like tossed the guy out the window. That isn't funny, but it's just funny picturing like Obelix doing such a thing. Episode 86. This is truly the third part. Joey vs. Orion is the second match. Orion shows off a fake Millennium Ward, so people believe that he's truly Merrick. No one knows if Merrick has the real ward behind his back. Just, God forbid that someone decides to peel behind his back. Merrick wants to know why Kai was able to use the God card since he had to be connected to the Millennium Items to use them, I should say. Joey almost lost his hand to the win, like I was saying earlier. Kaiba would have a dueling tournament on a fucking blimp. Joey summons Guildfoot, the Iron Knight. Orion plays the Temple of Kings. It learns how much cards they can set, and they can destroy trap cards, which they are able to. It's what it is. That's what it says. Can't destroy traps. Then Orion sets 2 cards. Yugioh's Warrior of Arc and the Temple of Kings. Joey plans on summoning a bunch of monsters, and then using Giant Shunei to bounce back all traps and spells on the field. Joey summons Wind Guard. Orion sets 2 cards. Joey summons Hanabasa Knight. Joey used Giant Shunei but failed due to Orion using Judgment of Anubis, which negates Giant Shunei and destroys all of Joey's monsters. Joey takes damage equal to half of her monsters' attack that are destroyed. Orion sets 2 cards. Joey sends Yugioh Souls and sets a card. Orion passes his turn, so does Joey. Orion passes again. Joey summons Rocket Warrior and attacks Orion directly. Orion uses the Eye of Wretched to take control of Rocket Warrior for the turn, and he attacks Yugioh Soul. Joey uses Fairy Box to hide Yugioh Soul. Orion plays 3 copies of Abomination of Atropolis because Joey attacked, which is like a trap monster hybrid. It's a cool concept, really. Dub changes. Orion gets 400 to be sent to the Shadow Realm if he loses by Merrick. You know, and it's also funny because like Merrick really during this whole fucking duel in the dub was like, foolish fools! They don't realize that Orion isn't Merrick. It's me! I'm the real Merrick. And his head is like, who the fuck are you talking to, my dude? It's just the weirdest, unnatural dialogue one would be thinking to themselves about. And it's even more hilarious because he's holding, literally, the wall behind his back. So, like, someone's like, hey, you got a nice wad between your butt cheeks. Your plan is fucking ruined, my dude. Anyways, on to episode 87. Fairy boxes affect Anne. Joey sets the card and switches Yugioh Soul to defense. Orion attacks with all 3 Abomination of Atropolis. Joey uses Scapegoats to summon 4 tokens, but Orion uses Magic Jammer, which negates Scapegoats by discarding a card from his hand. Orion is giving us a flashback of him being taken in by the Gravekeepers, and it's the same place where Shari took Pegasus to see the God cards. Which I do like how we don't like, like, you know, it does say, obviously, it makes sense, but, like, you know, Shizu having the tablet that shows the God cards, and, you know, them being gravekeepers protecting, the secrets of Pharaoh's memories and stuff like that. But I just like how they show the same shot of like the well and stuff. It's a really nice touch, and gets a thumbs up from me. I like how the saying what is seen but remains unseen is still like a thing that they say to each other to get them to like, okay, think about what's happening here, type stuff. Joey sets 2 cards and summons Soulsman of Landstar. Orion attacks with all the Bomberman of Anubis. Joey uses a foolish barrier to send 1 card from his deck to Orion's graveyard and uses Grave Wobble to summon the card he sent to Orion's graveyard, which is Jinzo. Jinzo destroys all the Bomberman of Tropolis since there were traps, which is awesome because that really shows up how powerful Jinzo is. Joey summons Battle Warrior and switches Swordsman of Landstar to attack mode. Joey attacks with all of his monsters. Yamayuki is dying, but Orion is married because how he called Joey a true duelist. Orion uses Source of Ling Line to stop Joey from attacking for 3 tones. Joey Trip used Battle Warrior to summon the legendary Fisherman and switch the other 2 monsters to defense mode. Meg puts a fake Winged Dragon of Wall in Orion's deck. Orion puts Wall in the Ark in the Temple of Kings. Joey uses Must Reborn to bring back Aga's Sword. Joey tributes Swordsman of Landstar and Aga's Sword to summon Insect Queen, which is why would you do that to yourself, Joey? Orion uses Cup of Seal Sword, Seal Syncant, and Temple of Kings to bring out the Scorbeaks of Circuit. Duh! Changes. So many ball jokes towards Odeon. Like, a lot. Saving the World talk really plays a nice scene between Yamayuki and Joey, just like showing that they're good friends, and then it just becomes into, I gotta help you save the world, Yug! But whatever. Episode 88. The fake copy of Wall has killed a few people, so don't worry, Odeon, it'll be fine! What's the worst that can happen? Orion was raised by the Gravekeepers and has a strong heart, so make things fine! It'll be fine! Don't worry about it! Senka can attack the Tornado Summon. Joey passes. Senka destroys Jinzo, and when Senka eats the monster it destroys, it gains half of his attack. Joey passes. Senka eats Insect Queen next and gains half of his attacks. Joey tells Serenity she has to keep watching his duel. Don't turn your eyes away from the fact that your brother was about to lose. Another flashback of Orion. Orion overhears the fate of the Gravekeepers that they have Ward and Necklace. And if they can have a kid, they can adopt Orion to undergo the Gravekeepers' ritual. Merrick has a MILF of a mother, by the way. She is beautiful. Mr. Ishizu agrees to adopt Orion if they can have a kid. Ishizu is born, but only males can do the trial. Then Merrick is born, and then Merrick's MILF of a mother dies from childbirth. Let's look at the record of MILFs. The treatment of them all. It's not good for Yugioh series, isn't it? Anyways. Orion is being flank. A wild snake bit Merrick. Orion's about to kill Merrick, but Merrick sees Orion as his brother, and that moves Orion not to kill Merrick. Honestly, just lower it. It saves you a whole lot of trouble in the future. I'm just saying. But hey, bros, man. Merrick snapped at Orion because he doesn't want to do the ritual. Odion asked Mr. Yugioh to let him do the ritual, but that didn't go over so well. Merrick went through the ritual to get an engraving on his back. Merrick pops in to say hi, just for a tiny bit. Odion engraved on his face to say, hey, I pledge my loyalty to you, Master Merrick. Back to the present day, Joey passed. Joey's fire spirit is still strong even though he is in a very losing position. Second, eats the legendary fisherman. Joey doesn't think but Odion is Merrick. And Yamayuki is very on to Merrick for being Merrick. Literally as soon as Joey says, oh, I don't think you're the real Merrick, Yamayuki turns and looks at Merrick. He goes well, if he's not Merrick, positive elimination, you're Merrick! Basically, who else would it be if Odion isn't Merrick? I'm just saying, there's not a lot of options left. Seika attacks Joey directly, but Merrick stops and urges Odion to summon Hwad to prove that he's Merrick. Dub changes. Young Odion was played by a child actor, and I'm sure the child actor was doing his best work. But I had a hard time understanding him and I had to put subtitles on. Because I'm like, I need to make sure I'm hearing what you're saying correctly. Senka doesn't eat monsters in the dub. They call all nice and ritual engraving scenes for the kids. Episode 89. Merrick uses his dead mother to convince... Whoa, lovely man. He uses his dead mother to convince Odion to play Wall. Odion gives up second and half of his life points to summon Wall from Wall. Real Wall's attack and defense are equal to all the monsters that were used to tribute summoner, so it equals to the power-up Senkan's attack. All the people with land arms feels God's anger when Odion tried to get fake Wall to attack. Wall strikes down Odion, destroying the fake wall, and I feel bad for Odion for he goes down, not hanging Merrick or anything. He just goes oh no, I'm not truly a gravekeeper. I'm not truly a part of the Yugioh family. What a poor man. I feel bad for him so badly. Joey also gets struck down. They were dealt psychological damage according to Karu, because my soul vision isn't really, but just dealt psychological damage. It's fine. Whoever stands up in 5 minutes wins. Yami Merrick is trying to poke his way out to say hello. We learn the ritual created Yami-Yugi, and Odion's loyalty suppressed Yami Merrick. So if Odion fell, Yami Merrick comes out. Odion fails to get up, and Joey has a dream about his friends, but wakes him up because all of his friends are supporting him. It's very, 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 very on the nose, but it's still a little nice dream sequence of all of these characters kind of interacting, and saying basically Joey wouldn't get to where he is if it wasn't for his friends supporting him and helping him along the way. So Joey wins. The game learned that Merrick is in fact Merrick. And Yamayuki is Yamayuki is always free. Yami Merrick is free. I like this doom. I'm a bit I don't like the way it ends, even though I do like the dream sequence of Joey getting up because he is supported by loved ones and Odion is not. But I prefer dudes to end naturally than how the 21st World Tournament ended. You know, but like other than that, I like this dude a lot. And I do like how Wall has like a will of his own. Like, hey, you're not worthy to play me. Boom, a boom. I'm also very much a sucker for like Genzo's effect popping off. I'm sorry. I feel like they haven't really shown that, and especially since Genzo and like early Yugioh was, such a force to be reckoned with, I think that they finally kind of showed more of that. It's great. No notable dub changes. Episode 90. Okay, we're in the 90s now. We're almost there. It's a free part that starts off with Orion like being unconscious but healthy. Joey says the reason why he got up from Wall's English because he had friends helping him out. My asks Joey if she was in his dream, but Joey gets weirded out and says no. Joey says the next time he has a dream that is caused thanks to an angry god, he would dream as a teacher with a whip. I mean, hey, to be fair, it's a sweet deal to be TILF. So, anyways, Tara is disappointed in Joey for lying because this causes Mai to feel alone. Tristan is black for a few frames, though. Miscoloring and, like, errors happen all the time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of them I haven't noticed. And some of them I have pointed out. But most of them I haven't pointed out. This one is just very obvious. Mai versus Yami Merrick is the next duel, so the last duel is Kappa versus the Chizu. Mai says she doesn't need shields to help her win. Yami Merrick is about to stab Orion with a hidden blade in the wall, but stop because, he has to play a children's card game, God forbid you just lower that thing down a bit, then play your children's card game. My summons, Demon Dark Witch. Yami Meg plays Revival Gem and the spell card Jam a Brain Machine, which gives Yami Merrick a token once per turn. Joey says they see Mai as a friend. Dark Witch destroys Revival Gem, but Revival Gem revives via its own effect. Yami Merrick plays Power Green to draw out 2 cards. Yami Merrick gets a token, he sets a card. Mai uses Harpy Feather Duster to destroy all Yami Merrick's spells and traps. Dark Witch destroys the Slime token. Mai sets a card. Yami Merrick summons Midgehead, the Full-Face Beast. Yami Merrick tributes Revival Gem. And the Full-Face Beast to special summon Max Beast as Goddess. Max Beast as Goddess attacks Dark Witch, but Mai uses Miroir to cut its attack in half, and Max Beast Access gets destroyed. The Max of Remnants activates since Max Beast Goddess is destroyed. Taking control of Dark Witch, Yami Merrick makes a shower game for funsies. Mai sets a card and summons Unfriendly Amazon. Unfriendly Amazon destroys Dark Witch, but since it's Mai's monster, we get to learn the rules of this shower game. Each time one of your monsters is destroyed, you lose a memory of someone. Since Dark Witch was one of Mai's monsters, she loses a memory of someone in her life. In this case, Taya. Like, she can't even see Taya. Taya's just non-existence in her world. Dub changes. Joey had a dream but he made vanilla pudding with a monkey. I mean, why not? The ward is bladeless, so I'm not sure how Meg was planning on stabbing him. Mai calls Joey a monkey. They cut Taya's image for being cut up by unfriendly Amazon. because, we can't have Taya being cut. Episode 91! Yami Merrick sets the card and summons Moko the Destroyer and clips Black Pendant, which gives Moko 500 attack. Moko attacks unfriendly Amazon but uses Amazon's Ochos to stop Moko's attack, and it causes it to lose 500 attack. If unfriendly Amazon destroys Moko, and Yami Merrick forgets about strings! No! Not strings! Everyone's favorite character. Black Panda being destroyed causes Mai to lose 500 attack. If she had attack points, which she doesn't, so it's life points. When Moko lets Yami Merrick place a trap from his hand, Merrick plays Whip of Life, which brings up Moko back from the graveyard with 800 more attack points. Moko destroys unfriendly Amazon, and Mai loses her memory of Joey. We get Mai's backstory about how she lived alone as a kid because her parents died, and that the gang teach her how to trust others. Yami Merrick helps Mai stand back up by saying, hey, if you win, you get your memories back, so just don't lose. Mai summons Amazon's Chain Master and sets the card. Yami Merrick summons Hurling Arms and attacks Chain Master with him, but it's not destroyed, and Mai can attack for 3 turns. Mai uses Grave Arm to destroy Chain Master to use her effect by paying 1,000 life points. You can steal 1 card from Yami Merrick's deck, and so she picks the Winged Dragon overall. I mean, makes sense, Mai sets 2 cards and summons Amazon's Fire. Moko attacks Fire, but Mai uses Amazon's spell caster to switch Fire's and Muko's attacks. So Muko is destroyed, and Yami Merrick forgets about Kana. Yami Merrick used Call of Lost Will since his monster lost attack. He gets to draw into him. He has 5 cards in his hand. Yami Merrick plays Nightmare Wheel via Muko's effect. Nightmare Wheel stops Fire from attacking, and Mai loses 500 attack. Mai uses Dramatic Rexy to switch Fire with a monster from her hand, which she picks Cypher Hobby Layer. Mai uses Grace for Charity to draw 3 cards and then discard 2. Mai uses Elkin Euclidus to summon the Hobby Layer's sisters. There's the Joey Chen. Mai uses the sisters to summon Wall, but it's in spew mode. Dub changes a lot of light sensors, just censoring everything. Mai's family moved around a lot, totally busy and not deceased. Episode 92. Mai needs to read the hieroglyphics on Wall to use it in his powers. Kaiba is using Satellite to scan Wall so he can research how to use Wall and its effects. If Mai can read the text, she can't use Wall. Relying on Wall is called Heretic, which is, fun fact, a real thing, and it's cursive hieroglyphs, for those who don't know in real life. Even Pegasus couldn't read it, but he just copied it on Wall's column and have it appear when you summon it. That seems unfair, but hey. Mai uses sets Gravity Bind, which makes level 4 higher monsters unable to attack. Hurling Legs is summoned by Yami Merrick, and it bounces back all set cards on the field. When Hurling Arms and Legs are summoned, the Yugioh type appears. Hurling Legs and Arms pin Mai against the Yugioh tap and attack her directly. Wall has 3 effects, and Yami Merrick was kind enough to show us one of them. By chanting the ancient words, Yami Merrick was able to summon Wall on his side of the field. No need for just any type of brain control or whatnot. He just said the words and it appealed to him. Yami Merrick tells Yamayuki how he has the location of the Pharaoh's memory on his back. Yami Merrick has been created from darkness, and Merrick's heart, but Orion's engravings kept Merrick's anger in check, so Yami and Merrick couldn't escape. Joey tries to free Mai before war ends him. Joey tells Mai the truth about his dreams, so Mai sees Joey again. Yuki saves Joey and Mai from Wild's attack. Mai still loses, but like they don't get hit by the fire blast. Since Wild dropped Mai's life points to 0, Yami Merrick traps Mai in like an hourglass in her mind. Once she's buried in sand, she will lose all her memories and die slowly. The more people Yami Merrick beats in a child game, the stronger he gets. Mokuba is decoding Wall's text. I like this dude because it shows how twisted Yami Merrick is and the true power of Wall a bit. And somehow, this dude, even though she lost, showed how more competent Mai is than her duel against John Connor Magma. I'm just saying, like, it's a 9-day difference. Surely she lost, but like, it shows that she's more competent at the game. Oh wait, again, I really hate that duel so badly. Anyways, dub changes. The chants in English and the dub are like, the sub version I'm guessing is what's supposed to be ancient Egyptian. I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. Episode 93 is a 2-part. Everyone found out that Chizu is the 8th duelist, to the surprise of no one watching. Merrick inside of Yami Merrick reacts to Chizu. It's like, sister, save me. Chizu is here to save Merrick from Yami Merrick. Chizu says she cheated by looking into the future of her necklace and sees how this duel ends. Like a true duelist. Kawa doesn't like that he was used to set up and doesn't believe in the magical items. Chizu correctly predicts that Kaiba summons Voice Whale and sets the card. Chizu summons Kill. Chizu uses Drag into the grave, which each player selects 2 cards from their opponent's hands and for them to discard. Chizu tells Kaiba to discard Kaiser Goliath and Polymerization without seeing his hand. Kaiba tells Chizu to discard Spell Reproduction and Monster Reborn. They had Doom Monsters, apparently the Great Keeper's Tomb. No contact with Vassal, but you're allowed to have your trade cards. That's the important thing in life. Bullswear attacks killed him. Kaiba plans on card crushing to Voiceware after using Trink to have his attack to destroy all monsters with 1500 or more attack in Chizu's deck. Kaiba sets the card. Chizu summons Modoro. Chizu is happy to cheat to save her brother. Chizu equips Synthesis of Dagger on Modoro, which makes the game 500 attack. Modoro attacks Voiceware. Kaiba uses the Trink and Card combo. Chizu used Source of Burning Light to stop Kaiba from attacking for 3 whole turns. Chizu sets the card. Kaiba summons Death Spell Imp and sets the card. Chizu and Kaiba pass their turns for a bit, so it ends. Kaiba draws Obelix and Death Spell Imp attacks Chizu directly. Dub changes. Joe compares Chizu to Asperoba, but in the sub is to Mai. Death Spell Imp is called Duck Gremlin, and even though his TCG name is Death Spell Imp. Episode 94. Yami Yugi figure out Chizu's plan involves the graveyard. Kaiba uses Vaya's cannon to send 10 spell cards from Chizu's deck to the graveyard. Chizu uses Exchange of Spirit, which swaps each player's deck with the graveyard by playing 1,000 opponents. So every card in your graveyard is now your deck, and every card in your deck is now your graveyard. So basically, Chizu gets her full deck back, while Kaiba loses everything. Mokuba goes to support his big brother, leaving his raw translating job. Chizu summons Kelbrick and sets a card. Shizu predicts correctly that Kaiba will draw via his cannon, and Shizu uses no and vote to have Kaiba discard. And Shizu says Kaiba's next card is Clutch Card Wallace, and she's correct. Kaiba is stalling for time so he can use Soul Exchange to tribute Shizu's free monster summon Obelix for Tormento. Shizu summons Zorko. Yamauchi tells Kaiba to make his own future. Zorko destroys Death from Kaiba attacks directly. Shizu sets the card. And Shizu uses no vote to get Kaiba to discard Clutch Card Virus. Kaiba sets the card. Shizu sets the card, which is Sacrifice Blast, which puts a bomb in one of Shizu's monsters. And when it's used to tribute summon by a monster, that is tribute summon would go boom boom when it attacks. The player who takes control of that monster takes damage equal to its attack. So Shizu plans to do this to Obelix. Shizu summons Ergo. Kaiba uses Soul Exchange to use Shizu's free monster to summon Obelix. And when Kaiba is about to attack with Obelix, a Vermilion Wand gives Kaiba a vision to summon Blue Eyes, so Kaiba changes the future by using Scion Doom to bring back Gadget Social from the graveyard. And Kaiba sacrifices Obelix and Gadget Social to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon, winning Kaiba the game with a direct attack. This proves to everyone, well, for ones thinking about it, I should say, but Kaiba is the one on the stone tablet. This Doom is okay, because for someone who can quote-unquote see the fucking future, I feel like Shizu could have done a lot better. I'm just saying. Just maybe a bit better. But, like, get Obelix out of a hand, but hey, whatever. Oh, not summoning a full monster and attacking directly, you will probably have won. But hey, you know, you gotta have good back and forth, I guess. But, Kaiba changing the future is like one of the best moments of Doom Monsters. I love it so much. Because, like, yeah, I'm sacrificing God to summon Blue Eyes, which is also a nice change because his in-game has always been Obelix in every Doom he has had in Battle City. So to say, oh, well, fuck that, I'm going Blue Eyes is also very nice to see. Dub changes. Yamauchi doesn't encourage Kaiba, but warns him of dangers of Battle City. Duncan's duel. Whatever, Yugi. Episode 95, Kaiba can read the text of Wall without translating first. The blimp is heading to another dueling. Shizu tells the gang about Merrick. So basically, Shizu takes Merrick outside, as in the past, even though it's forbidden. Charlie shows up to tell them that the Pharaoh will come back soon, and tragedy will hit this Charles soon, because we broke the rules of the Gravekeepers. Merrick really wants a motorcycle so he can play card games on it. This has a motorcycles, card game, cards in the card game but look like Aki. This really is flying on the 5Ds train. Even though this came way before 5Ds. And there's an alarm overdose with falling over left. Odeon gets whipped because of this. Merrick shows up when Odeon is knocked down and takes the wall. Well, Merrick stabs his father to death. Odeon wakes up seeing Merrick, and that heals him. Charlie tells Merrick that this is the destiny the Pharaoh chose for him, causing Merrick to hate the Pharaoh. Back to the present, Shizu says she can no longer see the future since Kaiba changed it and gives the necklace to Yuki. Yuki said because like one day he will have to say goodbye to the Pharaoh. Brainwash's tail gives the ring to Bako. Merrick tries to kill Odeon once again, but Bako stops him. This episode's fine. Merrick's backstory is okay. Like, it's not bad or too good. I get his reason for hating the Pharaoh, but at the same time, no one told him, like, hey, my dude, you stabbed your father to death because you let your dog side take over. I know this is probably very traumatic for you. But like, we can't have you doing all of the bad things you're doing under the impression that the Pharaoh somehow did this, even though he's been dead for a couple thousand years. You know, just saying. But like, overall, this episode's okay. Double changes. Mag's father beats Orion with a wand or used magic. Not really clear. He was just not whipped. Yamamik sends his dad to the shower room instead of stabbing him a bunch of times. Mag's motivation is worse because his goal is to take over the world, which seems less connected to his backstory. Okay. Episode 96 is a two-part. Meg learned that Merrick killed his dad when Cheesy told the story, via like being in control of Taya and stuff, and thought Shari had killed him. Yamiko knows who Shari is. Yamiko sets the con and summons a Goblin zombie as his first turn against Merrick in a duel. Merrick sends Yugioh and sets the card. Yugioh destroys Zombie Goblin, but Yamiko uses Fearful Oban, which makes Merrick take 500 points of damage when he attacks. Merrick used Remove Trap to stop Fearful Oathbound. Since Yamiko took damage, his body starts to disappear, which is the child game. And when your life points drop to 0, you can say bye-bye to your soul and body. Yamiko sets to cards and plays Guinea. Merrick uses card sanctity, so each player draws until they have 6 cards in their hand. Yamiko uses multiple destruction, which sends all the cards in each player's hand to the graveyard, and they draw until they have 5 cards in their hand. Yamiko takes 600 points of damage. Merrick sets the card. Yamiko tributes Guinea to summon Puppet Master. Yamiko pays 1,000 life points to use Puppet Master's effect to bring 3 monsters back from the graveyard. They can attack the same time they were summoned. Yamiko uses Dark Dexinator, which allows Yamiko to pick a monster from Merrick's deck and add to Merrick's hand. He picks the Winged Dragon of Wall. Yamiko uses Exchange to get Merrick's Wall, and Merrick gets Yamiko's Monster Reborn. Double changes. Joey dreams of Kai becoming him a monkey. Now I'm certain this man draws dreams of himself being insulted by Kaiba. Yamiko wants to know what secrets Merrick knows instead of seeing his back. Similar, yes, but it's different. It feels like it's very different. Disconnected almost, because when I acted cheesy, cheesy wouldn't tell you shit, because, but it feels like it doesn't feel as like Yami, that Merrick would be the only one you can go to, unless it's the carvings on his back. You know what I mean? But anyways, episode 97, the final episode. Okay, Merrick plays Vengeful Box Spear, which stops a monster from attacking a tornado with summon. Yamiko summons Wobble, triggering for 3 monsters that were summoned via Puppet Monster's attack. But Merrick uses Joyful Doom, which adds the Tribune monster's attack stats to his life points, and the attacks drop to 0. So Wall's attack is 0. Yamiko switches Wall and Puppet Master to defense. Taya wakes up in Bako's room and wants to Yuki to tell him that Bako is missing. Drew attacks Puppet Master. Yamiko tributes Wall to summon Dark Ruler Hadas, because Yamiko doesn't think he need to worry about Wall in the graveyard. Yamiko banishes 3 monsters from his graveyard to summon Dark Necrofield. Yamiko uses Premature Burial to bring back Earl of Demise by paying 800 life points. Yamiko does a Creepy Chin. Eric doesn't know all the effects of Wall because he hasn't been fully accepted by the Millennium Wall. Yami Merrick uses Monster Reborn to bring back Wall. Gods are only affected by spells for a turn, so Wall will go back to the graveyard when the turn ends. Wall can attack when a special summon going around Vengeful Bog Spirit. Merrick pays all but one life point. So Wall will gain money he paid as attack points. Yami, Merrick, and Wall, like one Wall ends Yami because life, and Yami because says he'd be back because he's darkness himself. Yami, Yugi, and Terra walk in after Yami Merrick beat Yami because a brainwashed Terra tests Chisu something, and she's the highest order from Yami Merrick. Yami Biko is alive and the puzzle because there's a part of his soul in there. I like how literally first episode Yami Merrick hides his spirit and then last episode is youth. I like that. Kaba has built a new town on his late father's island. Alcatraz is the island, and that's where the finals are. I think this is a very awkward place to end an arc, but that's what happens when you have a filler arc next. Just placed in the middle of an arc. Other than that, I like this episode. I like how it's slowly building up Winged Dragon Ball by showing the sex one by one by one. And I'm kind of impressed that Yami because seems to be hanging in, but even though he really can't win an important dude to save his life, but he won against Bones. Don't forget that. Dub changes: Purple Flames, Bone Merrick instead of Red, and rename Alcatraz Island to Capricorn Island. Because God forbid, Alcatraz Island. You know, it's not like Alcatraz showed up in an episode of Scooby-Doo. They can't even use that. God dang, poor kids. But overall, I really like Battle City. I do think some of the dudes overall can feel Sammy. With like Gazelle always being summoned, and Bea always being summoning, or like Joey always using like Graceful and Skull Dice. It gives it like a samey feel. But like at the same time, the story is like better than Dude's Kingdom, I think, overall. And I do think it's nice to actually have rules to this game. So I do think Battle City overall is kind of a bit better than Dude's Kingdom, but it doesn't get like a point up. Like I also really enjoy that Yami Yugi has a personal goal this time around, and while Dude's Kingdom focuses on like Yugi's goal, saving his grandpa. And I like how Joey was doing for someone else, and Dude's Kingdom, but now he's trying to improve himself and Battle City. I like how the goals feel different. You know what I mean? Than what it was in the last arc. So that's also very much appreciated. So like I would still give Battle City an 8 out of 10, but it's a higher 8 out of 10 than Dude's Kingdom. So thank you very much, you all, for sticking with this long video. I've been working very hard on this. I hope you all enjoy this. And I will see you all next time. Bye.